What's up, everyone? This is DYANAROZAY. Welcome to my channel. Hi, everybody. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Okay. We just got finished watching the Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion for season 6. This was part 2. And honestly, I feel like it was one of the best reunions that we have had in a long time. Okay. I loved this reunion. You guys come on in. I see you already calling out your city and or state. So I will give you guys a shout out. What is up, Texas? How are you? Come on in, everybody. 214 of you are watching. Make sure that you hit the like. In order to join the chat, you will need to be a subscriber. So if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and become a subscriber. Take you 1 minute before you're able to join the chat, okay? Not too long. I see Forest City. I see Indianapolis, Virginia. What is up? I see Dillon, South Carolina, Shreveport. I see DC, Chicago, Alabama, Texas, Rochelle, New York, Seattle, Washington, Philadelphia, Decatur, Georgia, Las Vegas. What's up, Vegas? I see Virginia again, DC, Nashville. Okay, come on in, come on in. Illinois, Connecticut, what's up? Mississippi, what's up? Brinkley. Okay, guys, listen. This reunion was fire. I loved it. Okay. I know a lot of you are in here, 267. Make sure you hit the like button, become a subscriber, and you can chit chat with us. Thank you to all of the mods that showed up. I see Cookie from the Shy. I see Nola. Come on in. I saw Linda Gamble a little while ago. So if you got a chance to see this reunion part 2, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat. If you didn't watch it, put a 3 in the chat. I just want to make sure that you guys can keep up with me, okay? It was a great show. Can y'all see? For whatever reason, I don't have a screen back here. I want to make sure that y'all can see everything. You can see and hear. Okay, everybody's saying 1, so most of y'all saw it. Most of y'all saw it, except for one person's. See, I see 1, 2, 3 threes so far. Okay. Hey, Kevin. Welcome. Thank you for helping out. Anyone you see with a wrench behind their name, they're here to make sure that you have a good time in the chat, okay? Let everybody rock. Everybody's allowed to have an opinion. I don't have any problems with that. But I want to make sure that we keep it respectful, okay? Looks like I have a new member. Welcome. Thank you for rocking with DYANAROZAY, Scorpio Ms. I appreciate you for becoming a member of the channel. Awesome, awesome, awesome sauce. If you'd like to become a member, anybody that you see with it looks like a little S behind their names, those are channel members, and you can join the channel. There's a bunch of buttons that you can push to say join. Go ahead and hit those, okay? And then you can become a member too. But let's get into Love and Marriage Huntsville, y'all. I had did a video. It was a short video a little earlier, and I took a poll. I asked some questions of the people in the chat, but I also gave my members a poll. So let's look at this poll real quick so we can talk about it. Let's see. I saw Ty in the chat too. I saw her saying she had some things to say. She looked like she wanted to get something off her chest about the episode. Anyway, here's the poll. Is this the poll? This isn't the right one. My bad. Hold on. I know y'all probably like, how do you do this every time, child? It was the wrong poll. My bad. Okay. Let me pull up the right one. Here we go. Sharing the poll. So you see it right there. The question is, if a new girlfriend or boyfriend of your spouse, right, or of an ex-spouse, somebody that you had a relationship, they get a new girlfriend or boyfriend, and your interactions with their new partner is disrespectful, and you find out that your ex is having this person watch your kids and you are uncomfortable, okay? They're babysitting, you're uncomfortable. My question was, um, is that okay? Should you, should he or she allow that person to babysit your children? Um, the overwhelming majority of you, 97%, said no, both parents should be comfortable with whoever is babysitting. Okay. The other options were yes, it's okay because, the children are separate from the adults. And then there was another question, excuse me, response was unsure because it's an extremely sensitive relationship or situation. But the majority of you, like I said, 97% picked no, both parents should be comfortable. 3% picked unsure because it could be an extremely sensitive relationship or situation. Okay. And I just wanted to know how y'all felt because we got some new information on the screen today. Y'all remember season 4, Melody was really upset when she was on stage with Carlos. He was asking questions, and Martell's baby mama got brought up. When she left the stage, she was in tears and she was like, listen, I don't even know why he brought her name up. And she got into her room and she was crying and she said, I hate Huntsville. I want to get the hell out of here. Well, today she was okay. This was actually filmed back in October, but she was feeling okay. She was like, listen, I'm here to answer these damn questions. I could care less. I'm airing this Negro's ass out. Okay, that's what I got. And she let it fly. And Martell ran off the stage like a pampered princess. What's up, Miss Tina? Welcome, everybody. Let's see what you guys are saying. If me and his new chick are cool, you're fine. Correct. As long as there's no disrespect in front of the children. Okay. But if she's a good person, you could care less. Okay. There's an opinion for you. Y'all remember, some of you may remember, Jada Pinkett Smith told a story about her and Will when they first got together. He had divorced his wife. I think her name is Cherie. Divorced his wife, Cherie, and she said that Will had told her up front he didn't want any problems with Cherie. Don't do it. Don't cause them. My son is my most important person in my life right now, and I need to make sure he's okay because he took the divorce really, really hard. And Jada and Cherie used to go at it. Like Cherie used to, call her names, walk into the house, walk into the bedroom, let people know what's going on. And Jada used to do the same. Now, Jada does say, I never did anything bad to Trey. But she said the two of them used to go at it awful, had a hard time. And she said, Will just told her one day, basically, you either respect her. I don't care what she says to you. You don't say shit back to her. And if you cannot do this, Jada, this relationship is over. I remember that because I asked you guys this a couple of months ago. I think it was like a year or so ago. I asked y'all the same question, just based on some of the things that was revealed today on the reunion. Juanita said, if an adult does not like a person who is in the relationship with another person, ain't no way I'm letting that person watch my children, period. Yeah, it is some disrespectful mess. I'm going to tell you right now. It's a really sensitive topic. It is very hard to imagine that, your whole job as a parent is to protect your children. That's your entire every single solitary day, right? That's like one of the main things, I would say your top 5, okay? Protecting your kids. And so knowing that your kids are going into spaces where someone doesn't like you and has threatened harm against you or has done things so unscrupulous that you are, you're probably in a constant state of prayer when they're out of your company or they are around that person. But that's one of those things you just got to give to the good Lord at that point. Come on in, everybody. I appreciate y'all. 588 of you are watching right now. I don't mind if you're in the bushes. I like those that are in the bushes too. Just hit the like button is all that I ask. If you want to become a part of the chat, you will need to become a subscriber. And it'll give you like a 1-minute waiting period before you come in, okay? That is it. That is all. KM said, after revenge, I wonder why Mel won't go to court to keep her children from being around slaw. Well, she did go to court, didn't she? She just came out of court with a judgment earlier 2023. And if you guys remember that post that may be the subject of this warrant and arrest, right? If I'm not mistaken, because a lot of people were following that court case and all that stuff, if I'm not mistaken, she did submit all that information to the family court judge that they were talking to. So whatever decisions were made from there, we don't know, but you know, everything remained the same in regards to custody. When we noticed that Mel had something a little more to say, it happened after those recordings dropped. And that's when she had dropped the video saying, somebody's going to jail. And then right after that, you know, from what we can now tell, a warrant was issued, and then he turned himself in, or he was arrested right after that. Hey, Valerie, come on in, come on in, come on in. Let's see. Everybody was welcomed in. Okay, so let's get to it, y'all. Where's Ty? Did she leave? I don't see her. She might be on another panel right now. Okay, so let's see. Sheree was a major, Sheree was a major flop. Oh, that is Sheree. My bad. Sheree was a major flop last season on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That's for sure. I agree with you, Kevin. I was expecting a whole hell of a lot more from Sheree. I was like, finally, we're going to see a little extra oomph on this show. Because every once in a while, okay, God bless her. But, you know, is her name Gabrielle? She can be really too soft with them ladies. Let's see. The cameraman was on his job at this reunion. Facts. Okay, so let's get to it, y'all. So they picked up where they left off with Kiki. Basically, I'm sorry to say, Tisha aired Kiki's business all over the stage, and Kiki ended up admitting to it. But it was just real awful how it happened, okay? She basically said, you're a cheater. Your husband cheated on you. You cheated on your husband. And she said, you've been doing it for the entirety of your marriage. And then she had made the comment about Kiki funding a date for her husband. And then, you know, everybody was trying to ask questions. Carlos, you know, was like, let me just make sure to clarify, child. He asked for clarity on the date, and she said no. Basically, her husband asked to borrow money, and she had ran into him wherever he was on a date with someone else. And she said, you can best believe I lost my mind. Like, I acted a fool when I saw him, right? But outside of that, Kiki was in the hot seat for this, her entire segment. She was in the hot seat. They do a flashback where they are talking about the possibility that Kiki fell off the wagon. He was like, you came in real hot with that drink. Throwing that drink was like, Kiki, what was going through your mind? You know, was there something else that we didn't see, like the camera people didn't see, production didn't see? She said, Tisha knows how much I hate to be ignored. And I don't know how you guys felt about her saying that. I really want to hear your thoughts and opinions about it. But that was one of the things. She said, I hate to be ignored. And Tisha knows that. Marceau and Tisha look at each other like, well, how would we know that? Like, I don't, what does that even mean? Then Carlos basically goes one by one to each of the cast members and said, did you guys think that Kiki could possibly be using when you saw that scene? Of course, Marceau and Tisha said yes, right? They made Kiki look bad on the reunion. Okay, we're going to get everybody's opinion. I'm going to hold mine, okay? Carlos, wish Kiki well. Seems like she's not coming back. Oh, okay. That's no excuse to be disrespectful. Anyway, he goes one by one. Tisha and Marceau said yes. He asked them, what was it? What did she do that made you say that? And they said, we just know her. We know who she is, and we've been around her, so we know what her falling off the wagon, quote unquote, looks like, okay? He asked Mel. Mel said, I did not think that at all whatsoever, was not a first thought for me. He asked Kimmy said no. Maurice also said no and said, listen, I thought maybe she was just looking for a storyline. I think Ty is saying, can't wait. I see you. I'm going to drop the link in a second, child. Anyway, she said, I thought it was just a storyline. Then Kimmy came in with her famous word. Y'all know it. Okay. She loves to give a semicolon. However, hindsight is 2020. And I remember, greeting her when she came in. She was sweating. It is Alabama, right? Alabama heat. But she said they were sweating. She was sweating and she was a little jittery. Now, I also said this in my review. I said, I noticed that she looked like, I thought she was nervous. And that's what I said. I said, she's coming into a space with her cousin. She doesn't know how they're going to take her. She's not, a good friend of Kimmy. So that's how I took it. Let's see. LaDawn said Kiki let him play in her face, period. Okay. So that's how I took it when I saw her. I thought she was just simply nervous. I gave her that because I also know that she hadn't seen a lot of these people in a minute. So when she came in, she was trying to fill everybody out. Marceau was the one to break the ice, and when he did, he seemed cool. What's up, Kiki? I mean, I will never forget it. He sang her name. He sang her husband's name, and I thought it was kind of breaking the ice. And when she went over to see her cousin, it was something different. So okay. Boom. Okay, 780 of you are here. Please hit that like button for me and become a channel subscriber if you'd like to talk in the chat. Okay. But they didn't get into the reason why she might be nervous. Okay. Again, they just gave Kimmy an opportunity to put it out there like she was giving a medical opinion. But y'all can talk to me in the chat, and you can talk to me up here on stage. Okay. Anyway, Carlos goes into an even deeper drilling. He says, Kiki, Melody gave you a drug test, right? And he said, it's interesting that you tested positive for methadone when you've told all of us that you were on methadone. And she said, I am. I take it every day. So she was, communicating how that works. And he kept saying things like, well, did someone pee in a cup for you? Melody said, let me interrupt you right there because I don't play like that. I am straight up and down. I went into the bathroom with her. The producer said they basically confirmed the producer also went to the bathroom with her. So they were letting people know she took that test and it came back negative. Now, here's my problem. I will mention this part, and I'll mention this part because when we all heard her test positive, or excuse me, negative for methadone, the first thing I did was go to Google to find out how those tests work. Because if you take those tests, you have the at-home test, you can pee in the cup and it'll give you the immediate results, or you can mail off part of those results, right? They might make you do like a finger prick or something. You mail that off, and then they will do a lab test. And not Kimmy or production or Carlos King did their extra work to make sure that they let everybody know how that test worked. And I didn't like that. So I'm going to give Kiki her props on that, because if I can Google it as a viewer, I feel like the people on that set or, Kiki could have shared the ins and outs of the test. Maybe she didn't know all the way. I don't know. I just feel like there was a drop of the ball when that came about. But Carlos King went even further. They talked about the Home Depot tape as much as they could, because we know it is a legal issue for Kimmy, or excuse me, not for Kimmy, for Kiki. Y'all know there's too many names with the same letters in it. Okay. Them outing her addiction was wrong for me. Kiki needs to stop now with the cheating story. It's over. Okay. Okay. I know y'all coming in hot. Hold on. Let me finish this last part. They come in, they talked to her a little bit about the Home Depot thing. And he said, well, Kiki, I saw the video and that was you, child. Okay. And she said, I never denied it was me. I said it was me. What I said was they were wrong about the story they tried to paint or tell. And he said, okay. And then he gives her the drill. When was the last time that you used? What year was that? How many years ago? Were you on drugs anytime during this filming? Were you on drugs today at the reunion? Like, he goes on and on and on with the questions, right? And she says no. She says no. She doesn't directly answer him about how long ago she was on drugs at first. At first, she just said like many years ago. It was a while ago. It was a while ago. Tisha Marceau, however, they challenged her on that and they said, no, it wasn't a while ago. It was last year, basically saying it would have been 2022 because it's filmed in 2023, right? And she said no. And that's when Tisha drops a story about her being in a car with someone she was looking to score from and how she may have, robbed him and paid him paid him for the stuff with his own money. And Kiki is, again, just because I can look in her eyes and kind of tell what she was feeling in that moment. She looked confused. She looked pissed. She had a gamut of emotions running through her head. And it was just felt like everything was coming down on her like a ton of bricks, to be honest. But they end up saying, I think Marceau ends up saying, the last time you were doing it, that story happened was in 2021, not 5 or 6 years ago. He said 2021. And then they get into an argument about Marceau having to pick her up off of street corners. It got a little crazy. Y'all have to watch it if you didn't see it. But Carlos ends up just saying, listen, I wish you the best. Your sobriety isn't anything to play with. And it kind of sounded like he was giving her a goodbye, like a goodbye forever. I do know that she was escorted off the stage was it after that part? Because the Whitlows and then the Fletchers come on. So she was taken off stage. And I don't know. It felt a little wild. It did feel a little wild, okay? Now I'm going to drop the link after I got that out because I know that you guys are like chomping at the bit to be a part of this conversation. So here is the link. If you'd like to come up, you can do so now, okay? And I will pin it to the top. But you guys can come up. We're still talking about the Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion. This was part 2. I have to say it was one of the best reunions that I've seen in quite a while. Okay? I hope that some of y'all liked it. Okay. The join link pin or join the panel pin has been, I see a lot of you are already back here. Let me finish this part up and then I'll bring you up, okay? So the Whitlows and the Fletchers come on stage. Kiki is escorted out. We do not see her again. She might be a part of the next episode though, but I didn't see her again after that. Now we are talking about Martell. Martell is now in the hot seat. And they give us a flashback of everything, of him dating Sheree, of him. Listen, they gave us 2 scenes that we didn't even get to see. The first one was him talking to Nell Fletcher and saying that he was still in love with Melody and that he wanted that relationship back. That was said in a scene that they had cut from the footage that we got to watch season 6. Now, I'm wondering if they actually replaced it and put it in there. Well, they couldn't because of how it was filmed, but they did show it, y'all. That's crazy. That is crazy. And there was another part that they showed where Melody, he's sitting with Melody and he said, will you please forgive me? And Melody said, no, never. Both of those had me cracking the hell up, okay? But they asked Martell point blank, are you still in love with Melody? He denies it. He says, I have no idea what you're talking about. They specifically asked, are you in a relationship with your other baby mother, right? And he says, no, I'm single, very much single, not in a relationship. Just minutes before that, he was, saying that him and Sheree were just friends. They were just friends. They like to hang out. Everybody else took it as something else, right? But even in that sentence, he's contradicting himself because now Marceau is coming after him like, well, if it's not that big of a deal, if you weren't really in a relationship, why did you take things so personally with Tiffany, right? Why was that a big deal? Kimmy sitting on the other side talking about, look, when I saw them, they weren't lovey-dovey or anything. Like they weren't holding hands. They didn't kiss each other. It looked like a business relationship to me. Melody let them rock because she knew what those court documents said. But she was making faces, though, to let people know something's capped, right? Martell capping right now. But she let him rock all the way up until he jumped into a question that Carlos King asked of her, which is, Melody, after Martell says he's not in a relationship, she's like, well, that girl's over his house every single day when my kids are there. Almost every time my kids are there, she is there. Carlos said, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about, does that hurt you that your kids are there? And Mel said, no, not hurt. However, I don't trust her, basically. This woman coveted my life. She wanted my life, and she did anything to get it. And then she basically said, Martell will sit here and protect this woman, even though she has been nasty about the things she said to you. You are my child's father. My children have to hear the nasty, dirty ass things she's even said about you that I have too much respect to share out loud, right? Like there's been things I have been protecting about you that this woman has shared, and our kids have heard it. She said she sent me text messages. She said things to me, calls, DMs. She has been awful, and Martell did not know how to handle himself with that. That was some dirty, birdie mess. And I mean that by Martell, because at the end of the day, the reason why I brought up that whole Will Smith story, it is Martell's problem. And he needs to be the one, he should be the one keeping her in check. And if she can't stay in check, his kids need to be so much the priority that he tells her, you can't be here when my kids are here. You can't be here when my kids are here. You shouldn't have any part, and until Melody feels okay. Because if you really loved her and wanted her to come back, you would really do everything you can to respect her with that other bitch. Okay. I'm just going to put that out there. But he has a whole temper tantrum and runs off like a pampered princess to get some paperwork after Melody tells him, listen, you and Sheree was a business relationship. It was a part of the court documents, the very court documents that you sent to bloggers the year before. So don't play with me. You're trash. You were trash for doing it, right? Martell runs back and grabs a stack of paperwork, hands it to Melody and say, you find it. And she said, you find it. I know what the hell it says. Carlos King says, give me the paperwork. Okay, I'll take it. Then he puts his hand on Martell's shoulder because he was acting a fool. He said, don't disrespect me on my stage. Boop. Did y'all hear that? Don't disrespect me on my stage. So twice it looked like Carlos tried to jump on Martell a little bit when he said, bitch, go ahead to Melody and don't disrespect me on my stage. I think that what happened the year before with Martell, season 5 may have really affected him just a little bit where he was trying to gain some control, but we will see. Anyway, he ends up talking to Tiffany and Lewis next. If I missed anything, y'all can tell me, okay? Let's see. Evie Lacey said, hi, Dyana chat. Has anyone checked on Coleslaw Child? Not one of us, okay? Not one of us. If Martell leaves the show, he can always do content for Monistat. Ooh, I am over him and the lies. It's time to pay the piper for his deeds, okay? What you say, Nola? Nola said, he said, respect me, please. He did. He said, respect me. And I think he said, respect me on my stage. Y'all can correct me, but I feel like he said, respect me on my stage. Tiffany and Lewis, let's talk about them. So Tiffany and Lewis have a moment where they're talking about her postpartum journey and leaving the show. Tiffany, they took it like champs. They were trying to be playful and things like that. They talked a little bit about her interaction with Marceau and Martell when they had that one-on-one meeting. Lewis was very clear in saying, I don't give a damn. There's no reason for two men to sit down and talk to my wife. But Carlos said, do you feel like she put some stank on it? Or do you think after watching the scene at home, he called Mel out of her name on stage? I missed it. Well, he used the word in a general way. He said, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. He said Marceau and Martell had no business, sidebarring her without him. And Marceau was making a bunch of jokes throughout the whole thing so that I guess Lewis wouldn't get up and run across the table on him. But when Tiffany is telling her story about postpartum depression, Marceau has the strangest look on his face, and it stayed there. It was really weird that he had that look on his face. I wish that we could have found out a little more about why he looked like that, but he seemed like he was kind of choked up by Tiffany's story. Um, Carlos let Tiffany know that it is an open door for her anytime she wants to come back. She said that she's happy about the relationship she made. She thanked him, but she said that she understood that she had to take care of herself for her new baby. She never thought that she'd be in a place where she'd have postpartum. Anywho, that's how that ends. Then we get Stormy and Courtney. Okay. Stormy, Courtney, Betty, and Junior. Junior made it to the stage, child. That was crazy. Anyway, they talk about firing Junior. They talk about Betty and her sister Lisa, and also what went down between Melody and Stormy in season 4, I believe. That was season 5. My bad. I think it was season 5, maybe. Or was it season 4? I think it was season 4, damn. I get them confused now. Anyway, they talked about what happened between Melody and Stormy, and why Melody why Stormy's mother came for her. Now, Stormy's mother was out of pocket. I think everybody will agree with that. For the most part, I don't think anybody's going to say she wasn't out of pocket. But Melody and Stormy are talking. Stormy says, listen, I got confused that you were coming for me. And what really pissed me off is that people started calling the stores I do business with and telling them to take my products off of the shelves. Now, I do remember that. Somebody sent me a message today saying, hey, I'd like to see more of this business stuff with Tiffany. I really think she has an interesting business. And I said, I think the business stuff can be a little tricky on the show because sometimes fans will, do the worst. Let's see what Dustin's commentary was on point about Betty Lou. Oh, okay. Did they go on live today? I did not watch that. Anyway, she mentioned that, and I think that that was a point because I think that does go too far. For people to keep asking about them to show their businesses, for people to try to tear them down, it can feel a little weird, especially since they are on the show to do certain things. But Stormy's mom decided to jump in it. She waited for her chance. Okay. They were playing double dutch and she jumped right on in. And Melody basically said, mind your black ass business. You have enough stuff going on with your family and your sister to be in my business. You're my mama's age. So I don't know why you're coming for me, especially when you and I don't have any interactions with each other. And that's pretty much how it ended, y'all. So now I'm going to let people up. I'm gonna let people up. Yep, we got over 1,000 in the chat, Miss Tina. Over 1,000 and only 469 likes. So please hit that like button, okay? Become a subscriber and you can participate in the chat. You'll have to wait 1 minute in order to start chatting, but join us, okay? It's fun over here. Now, outside of that, let me bring up some people. The link is already pinned to the top. If you would like to join the stage, please do so. You can just hit that join link. Okay. I'd love to hear your opinions. So we have Courtney, Ty, Simone, and LaDon. Welcome to the platform, babies. How you doing?
Good
Hey,
evening,
Diana.
everyone.
Good.
Hey.
Hey. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Courtney first. Y'all are, y'all know how to do it. So just make sure that you have your mutes on, and then we are going to chit chat, and I will continue to take posts from the chat and pin them to the screen. So go ahead, Miss Courtney. What are your thoughts? I know that you have talked a lot about Kiki.
hmm
So what are your thoughts about Kiki and how she fared this reunion?
Well, that's mainly what I came up here to talk about. I have been my stance on Kiki still hasn't changed. I still feel the same way about Kiki. I'm neither here nor there with her. I think she got, some things to work through. I didn't like the situation with Mel.
Okay.
However, the questioning that Carlos gave Kiki tonight, I was ticked off. I was
Okay.
at home ticked off. I thought it was so unfair.
Okay.
Like he did not let up on Kiki at all.
Okay.
Um, I think the questioning should have stopped when Mel stood up and said, myself and other producers went in the bathroom with her. The
Mm-hmm.
test was legit.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you keep going in? Like, he never let up on her. And like, she didn't even get to, it was like, hey, Kiki, and it, they didn't never hit stop after that. Like, that wasn't fair. I don't think that was fair, because when it's Tisha, Tisha is allowed to have Marceau on the ladies panel with her.
Mm-hmm.
um she's a lot, they interject. It's always some type of backup, but Kiki, y'all press all gas no brakes, and that was just not that experience. A lot of times I can't see, because I'm not, like I said, I'm neither here nor there with her, so I call it for what it is. But with that that was just, it was too much. it
Okay,
was it
all
was
gas,
not
no
right.
brakes. Someone type all gas, no brakes in the chat so I can clean that up here.
It
Okay.
was. It was just like, y'all didn't ask her how's her family, how are you faring through sobriety? What steps are you taking? Like, it was nothing to give her a chance to talk about her story. It was just allegation, 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 allegation. And if y'all are going to say Marceau, we don't have any proof on him, she's taken the test. She offered to take another test.
She did.
So if y'all are going to say I don't have any proof for Marceau, we're going to let it go. You don't have any proof on Kiki, but hearsay. So let it go. Let
Let it.
it go. When it comes to that, let it go.
Okay. Let's do a poll in the chat. Okay, girl. Where's the all gas, no brakes? I see you, girl. Okay, thank you. Got to make sure that we keep up with these phrases. Um, in the chat, y'all, if you feel like Carlos was all gas, no brakes on Kiki, okay, put a 2 in the chat. If you thought that Carlos, did what needed to be done, okay, then put a 4 in the chat right now. I want to know. 2 if you think all gas, no brakes. 4 if you think Carlos did what needed to be done. Okay. The twos are winning. Okay. Okay. Fine. Fine. All right, child. I love it. What else you got? Was there anything
And
else
that's
about your
got
story?
with, and to end it with the Kiki situation, I hope that if she does come back, because I didn't get the finality, and like, I mean, it kind of was left up in the air to me. But if
Okay.
she does come back, I hope that she focuses on herself. I hope
Yeah.
that she gives herself a story outside of Tisha, because everybody wants to blame the Scots on them going after Tisha, which I'm not saying it's not true. But you don't have, if somebody deals you a hand, you don't have to play it. And
Okay.
she's
Baby.
Kiki plays into their hand. So you
Somebody
can't you can't you can't you
Mhm.
can't give away your power and then get mad because you gave away your power to somebody. You
Right.
play directly into their hand. So if you play directly into their hand, you got to deal with what come with it. And that's
somebody
just the bottom line.
put in the chat if somebody give you a hand, you ain't got to play it. Okay.
I'm gonna throw that hand back in. I play spades. So if I don't have any, if I don't have any spades in my hand, I'm throwing the cards back in.
Right.
So,
Somebody put
you're
that in
letting them deal you this raggedy hand, and you playing it,
there.
and you
Okay.
don't have a win. They're experienced with this reality TV stuff. You're not. As much as you think you're smarter than Tisha, you
Mm-hmm.
letting them get a one up on you every time, because you're not as
Mm-hmm.
experienced in this game as they are. So quit playing into the hand that they're dealing. Deal
Right.
yourself, give yourself a chance. Talk about yourself, your family. Don't let the producer steer you. They can't film what you're not giving them.
Okay. You right about everything that you just said. Okay.
Yeah, they can't
Everything.
film what you're not giving them.
Listen, it was a raggedy hand. Okay. I agree. All right. Well, y'all heard it. Okay. I appreciate everything you had to say about that. I'm going to ask you some questions just so we
Okay.
can get through this part. Okay.
Okay.
So, what did you think about? Let's get to the Martell scene. Mm, child.
Martell is the bottom of the barrel, scum of the earth. What did man say? That's what he
Lower,
is.
lower than the low, the
Lower,
low of
like,
the low. That's right.
I want to make these points with Martell.
Okay.
You said the whole season you're supposed to be single. These scenes you set up with Nail that they showed, you're
Mhm,
telling her that you're still, you still love your family, you would give up everything. You said the same thing. They aired this on when you did the one on when him and Mel did the one-on-one at the tea shop or wherever they were.
mhm.
He said it. He regrets everything from the depths of his heart, soul, whatever he said. If he
Mhm.
could change everything, he would. He said that
So,
verbatim himself.
Courtney,
So,
he said
mhm,
it twice because Nell, yeah, Nell being
yes,
saying that you told me if you could change everything, meaning
everything,
everything. Okay.
everything. The baby,
That
Ariane
everything.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
Then Nell said you said it off camera as well. You've been saying these things, and then like they're filming what y'all are giving them. You
Yep.
know what I mean? They're filming. You can say these scenes are set up. They may set up the scene, but you are giving them. Martell is a liar.
Fact.
Martell is embarrassed from what he knew, because he's already done it. He knew what was filmed. He knew what he said. So he's embarrassed that Mel is rejecting him publicly, and he's
Yeah.
publicly declaring his love for her, and he said it to several people. So you
Yes.
go from October of filming this reunion to being single to right after that coming out with Ariane saying like y'all are one big happy family. And so my thing is, this is still you're still using her as a weapon towards your ex-wife, and to have her around those children. Now, if you had a healthy relationship, I'm not saying that you can't introduce your children to your new spouse. If you've decided this is going to be a serious relationship with me, for me, then I'm ready to introduce my children here. However, this lady has talked about not only you yourself. When she gets mad, she blasts you. She's had an obsession with your ex-wife. She's talked about your children. What would possess you to put a woman that's talked about your children in a derogatory manner feel like she would be a good person to watch over your children's well-being?
I
Mentally,
know.
physically, nothing about that states that that's a stable person to introduce to your children. And for him, he's Martell doesn't love anybody. Martell, that shows me directly that even if he's saying he's still in love with Mel, he wants her back. Martell does not have the capacity to love it. He doesn't know love.
He
He
definitely,
doesn't know.
yeah,
Hmm.
he definitely is a weirdo
Yeah,
when
he
it
doesn't know love. He
like
he misses the love that he was given from Mel, but he has yet to learn love, because if he truly knew love, he would move so differently.
he
The way
doesn't
that he would
touch
move would be
the
so different.
people's
The
feelings.
love of his children, the love that a father has for the protection. He lacks all of that.
I
And
know.
this relationship just goes to show this woman will do anything to be relevant, to get on TV, to be with him, to, as Mel said, to take her life. And it's sad. It's sad that this was somebody that she was in a covenant with, she was married to, she has children with, and he will do anything to, stick a dagger, because he don't want Ariane either. But
No,
he knows that she's a weapon for Mel. So he knows that whatever dirt he does, Ariana help him cover. Or if he needs her to go on attack, she's going on attack. If he needs her to lie, she's going to lie. So that's all that is. And what type of self-esteem does this woman have, where she cannot see this man has called you a peasant 15%, does not claim you, has begged his ex-wife this whole season. Like, what is it that you want to stand by this man? What is it?
facts. Everything you said is
So
facts.
that's all. I'm gonna let everybody else go, because I've talked
Come
a
on.
lot. I just
Okay.
wanted to touch on those two things. I don't know.
I
I don't
hear
know.
you, honey. Okay, I'm a go to Ty because I know that she accidentally bumped out, and I'll let you go next. Ty, go ahead. Go ahead.
I might go next if my phone not acting crazy.
Okay. What's your thoughts on Kiki Jabbar and how she handled herself?
Do you hear feedback?
I do, but you can go.
I'm not gonna go if it got a lot of feedback, but I just want to piggyback off of what the panelists before me said about Martell. He will
Court.
never be Courtney. He will never be in a serious relationship. He did not understand nothing Mel was explaining to him about how she felt about that particular person coming at her. He was so on the defense of her. He'll never be in a healthy relationship until he understand that. And like she said, he don't know what love is.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. I had two. I had some information that I wanted to read, but it's in the phone and I'm on the phone. So therefore, I'll just say this. Um, I enjoyed the reunion. It was very good,
Mm-hmm.
even though I was yelling at the TV. However, um, the part about the drugs, I need people to understand that this is not crack heroin, none of this. This is a controlled substance that she was prescribed, and they are very addictive. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so for them to keep saying drugs and making it more than, I'm not saying that it's not a big thing, but the way they're pushing the narrative about her being on drugs is not cool at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
As far as them arguing, Tisha, the things Tisha was saying to Kiki was so irrelevant. Bringing up something about when her husband and Kiki first started dating, that was irrelevant. The fact that they brought up they cheated on each other, that was irrelevant. I also agree with Courtney. I think she said about maybe it was Courtney about um, Tisha and Marceau double teaming Kiki and not really letting up. However, Kiki was so busy trying to defend herself, right? She
Mm-hmm.
didn't get a chance to expose what was supposed to be exposed. It was a whole deflection thing, all the way, back on Kiki, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I still stand with Kiki, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tisha and Marceau have the drug allegation, and it's so powerful, so they feel like they can really like double team her, come down on her, and they're really doing something. But I don't. It's for me. I don't see it a problem. Kiki still do not want to expose Tisha, and I, for the likes of me, cannot understand why not.
What reason do you think it would be that she wouldn't want to do that? What do you think would be the reason?
Because of the kids.
Mm.
Just like, you want to portray a certain image, like Mel was talking about uh, saving Martell, and she could have said certain things. Her kids got to look back at that. Mama, why you said that? Mama, why would you say, because I'm quite sure the children are still friends, Kiki and Tisha. So I don't think she want to do that. However, I know a lot of people saying that Carlos was doing too much, but for me, my own personal opinion, I think Carlos was very careful. And though everything he asked Kiki, everybody in the social media world wanted to know.
Okay, that's a good point. He did ask everything that was going on,
Everything. So
that
put
the
it out
social
there,
media was
put
saying.
it on the table, and let's be done with it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
When Mel said she went in that bathroom and was there with Kiki, Marceau had to shut up, Tisha had to shut up. You can't
Mm-hmm.
say she's still on drugs. They're making a big old thing about Kiki being once addicted to some Percocets. If Tisha got a surgery, because I don't know, if she got a surgery, I'm quite sure she had some pain pills. She may not have been addicted to them, but she took some pain pills. The way they pushing the fact that Kiki took pills and not no drugs. I'm not saying it's not a drug, but the way they portraying it like it's something other than pain pills. Alcohol is a very, very deadly drug. It's under a drug category, and it kills more people than we think. It's
Now,
very addictive.
act like Percocet, that's a big deal.
Okay,
It
but
has horrible effects on people, uh, and there's a lot of young people that's on it that literally they are experiencing Alzheimer's at the age of like 20, 25. Okay,
you could do that with alcohol, Diana.
you could, but
It,
not in
it
the
could be
same
like that with
way.
alcohol.
You're right. Alcohol typically takes a lot more years, though. That particular thing seems to take effect
Not
a lot earlier.
necessarily. Not
You don't
necessarily,
think
Diana.
necessarily? Okay. I just was reading some journals and I saw some stuff that suggested.
Because I mean, you can get some liver function dysfunction, some heart dysfunction, all kidney disease. It's a lot.
Well, I'm not saying one's better than the other. I think that's the point I was making, that it is just as destructive as everything else.
The cigars that Marceau, Maurice, and Martell smoke, that's like a drug. They're
Okay.
very addictive. So for for them to try to beat her down with that, that's crazy. I didn't like it. But
Okay.
I feel Carlos was careful with Kiki and asked all the questions that we wanted to know and let her answer it for herself. I know a lot of people didn't like how he came out, but I feel like he was careful with her. That's how I feel. But that's my own opinion.
I respect that. Okay.
I don't see where Tisha got no one up, because I think the whole story about the hanging in the car with the I don't even believe that. I don't even think Kiki could understand or fathom how could you come up with something like that.
Well, she confirmed it. She said that it didn't happen when she said it happened, but it did happen.
But the way that they portrayed it happened, like
I
she
mean,
was out there like a Felicia from Friday.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know how to, I don't know how to answer it though. I hear what you're talking about.
Okay, and that's about it with the Kiki. I'm still team Kiki. The drug, with my air quotes, that they're talking about, it's not that serious for
Okay.
her
Okay.
situation, because she's not on that anymore. She's not popping pills anymore.
Okay. And I think that's good. I think that where she at right now is great. I hope that she does get to come back and redeem herself.
So for everybody saying, why Carlos was acting like that and stuff. See how they was talking about, she looked this sweaty coming to the place, Kim and Maurice and Marcel and Tisha, she was looking like this. That's why he asked her them questions. Don't put it out there. No, I was not on drugs I was not on that when I came to a picnic. No, I was not on that when this happened. And for Marcel to say people who not on drugs don't get upset like that, that's not true. Melody, just like Carlos said, went for him. Melody threw a glass. She ain't on no damn drugs.
Mm-hmm.
People act all kind of different ways when they're upset.
That's true. You're right. You are right, Chica.
And
Okay.
I had took some notes. I was hot up in here. I was telling Kiki via mental, tag me in.
Listen, I want to thank let me get your name right. Belinda, I want to thank you for sending the Cash App, okay? I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna have you put your mute back on for a few minutes, so because your phone is crackling.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm gonna go to Miss Simone, but I appreciate everything you had to share with us, Miss Ty. I know that you were waiting for Kiki's part today. So hi, Miss Simone, how are you this evening?
Hi, good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Are you someplace that is away from that snow that's threatening everybody in the South?
No, I'm in like Arctic temperatures. It's like right now, like -3 where I'm at,
Oh, okay.
literally.
I'm
And
sorry
the
to
wind
hear
chill is like -10.
that. Okay.
But the snow's not bad. It's just like flurries. It's not bad.
No. Well, that's good. That's good. Okay. What are your thoughts? So the two biggest scenes on the show was Kiki and Martell, in my opinion. So
Mhm.
what was going on between Martell and Melody. So what was your thoughts on the Kiki part?
Um, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on that because I'm trying to separate and compartmentalize what we've learned on social media versus just stuff that happened on the show. I didn't like it. I don't like how they coddle and allow the Scotts to get away with everything. The Marceau and Tish, in my opinion, she can't function without having him or her mom to back her up. And it just felt like they were just tag teaming Kiki. She couldn't get anything out. But then on the flip side, she runs her mouth so much. You would think that she would be able to handle it, because all of the stuff that we've seen on social media. It did feel a little unbalanced. I have to say that I didn't like it. But to the point that the lady right before me was making, the questions that Carlos was asking her, just on her, just dead eyes, just on her. I get it that answers some of the questions that have been floating around social media, but I just wish she was fair with that. He has a unhinged monster sitting right next to him, and he babysits that asshole. So it's you know what I mean? It's unbalanced, and to me, he's the biggest problem on the show. I mean, I know he's behind the scenes, but to me, him and his production team are the biggest problem on the show to me. But yeah, Kiki, I don't have much to say on her. I wish her well. The sweating and stuff, people can take what they want, but I was one of those people who started perimenopause early, and I sweat. I had to have fans in my purse, in my car, on my desk, everywhere I went. I had to have some sort of personal handheld fan, and I was a young I was early 40s, so I was sweating. So someone could say, "Hey, my ass was on drugs," and I know I never did anything. So I don't know how to take that. I mean, looking at her, she did look a little unshoveled on the reunion. I didn't at when the pictures first came out months ago. I was trying to give her a little benefit of the doubt, but the braids did seem a little fuzzy or something, But I don't wear braids a lot, so I don't. I can't be a good critique. To me, it looked like it could have been a little bit more polished, but hey, that's just me looking at her, aesthetically. But the Martell, he is unhinged. Do you see how Carlos had to basically try to get lock eye to eye with him to get him to calm down, because you can tell he is so upset of how his life has turned out, how he is fallen all the way to hell since his divorce, and he's trying to take it out anytime Melody opens her mouth and says anything. It may not even be that harsh. He is ready to lunge. That man is unhinged, and he's dangerous. And the way they have to coddle him to rope his ass back in, like he was some sort of bull they let go. How they open the gate and let someone sitting on them. They have to ride them until they fall off or whatever. That is him. He is unhinged. It's like tick, 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 boom with him. He is. To me, and this is where I get back to production and Carlos. They are the problem. They have covered all of his stuff, all of the stuff that's happened behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, on camera. They have coddled him. They have done all kind of favors. I think what's going on in social media right now with these people who ain't looked at the damn show in years, coming back saying, "Oh, he's not that bad. Heavenless." I'm not gonna call her by her government name, Heavenless, and that funky boy. They're just pulling stuff out their ass. To me, that's a personal phone call that production, Carlos, whoever made to them to say this stuff. So just looking at that man's behavior, just those few minutes we saw him going back and forth, like he's a damn kid. Liar, liar, scream. Stomping off like a soldier in that too little ass suit. It was just, it's funny in one way, but on the flip side, we know this is real. This is real, real, real. And I feel like they have allowed him and the Scotts to take the reins. They do whatever they can to make them feel comfortable, make them look good, to give them a good edit, and let everyone else fall to the wayside. Just because Melody's a strong woman, a woman of faith, and
Martell had a strong edit. You think he had a good edit with this episode?
I mean, not a good edit in per se, but just, I mean, just look how they baby him. I mean, just look how
Oh,
Carlos is like, sit down, or sometimes I have to not focus too much on them, but basically just trying to will him back in to stop him from screaming like he was a toddler. It's like he goes into these tantrums, adult tantrums, because of what he quote unquote feels is the injustice of his divorce, or Melody's trying to make him look bad, which she don't have to lift one finger to make him look bad. He's doing a good job of that by himself.
okay.
So to me, I don't know, the Kiki thing. I hope she stays on path. I hope she really doesn't go back into any drug use. But Martell, I don't find him entertaining, and I don't find the Scots entertaining. It's just they offer nothing. And the Scots 2.0, get their ass off the show. Get them off.
You want a show
Get
with
them off.
Melody on
They don't even need
and
to be friends
everybody
with
else
you.
off? All
Huh?
right. Got it. All of these folks, we just want the center lady on the show.
Well,
Just
no, I mean, I just get the Scots 2.0 off. They don't even need to be friends. They
oh,
don't even need to be friends. Leave what's her face, Courtney, and what's the girl, Storm. Leave them on there, but take
oh,
2.0 off there. We don't need all these family ties and all this, and leave the Scots on there because they run the shit anyway. I mean, Carlos and them are, they are lockstep and key to. I mean, I don't know. I'm just sick of them. I'm sorry. I'm kind of at a loss for words. I'm just sick
okay.
of that
It's
whole
okay.
dynamic.
I understand. You're happy that we are at the end of the show, at the end of the season.
Yes,
And now
yes.
you can go back and get your nerves back, okay?
Yeah, well, this is gonna be my last season. I'm just gonna be looking at you and other content creators because I'm not looking at this crap no more. But
Okay.
anyway, thanks for having me up.
I appreciate you always, Miss Simone. Thank you. Okay, we have LaDawn. What's up, LaDawn?
Hi, Blessy.
Blessy, are you on here?
Hi,
Yes, honey,
girl.
I am here. Hi, honey. How are you? Hi, everyone.
Hi
Okay,
there.
hi.
Okay.
Um,
What's your thoughts on everything, child? What's your thoughts on the Kiki situation? Well, let's start backwards because we've been saying it the same way. Let's start with Stormy and her mother and Melody. Let's start there and then just kind of mix it up a little bit. What did you think about what was going on with them?
I think it was embarrassing. I think it was ridiculous. It was uncalled for. Um, this mother should not have a problem with her daughter's peer. It just shouldn't be. She's not a part of the cast, and she's a part of her daughter's storyline. And
Did you feel like Stormy was really trying to reel her mother in when she was like, Betty? She was screaming and Carlos was like, because I'm sure it was
I
getting
don't think that's enough.
huh?
I don't know. I think that's just normal. Because when she goes at it with her aunt, she yells the same way, but it still doesn't reel her back in. I think they need to stop being. You know how you can control what your mother does around your job, your business, or your peers? Not bring them around.
Mm,
She does not have to come around. She does not. She can just, like Mel, call her mother when she was right. Whatever. I don't know. But these mothers need to stay off the show.
okay.
And
So you are advocating for all mothers to stay off the show.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Unless there's an event where they're inviting the mothers, like how Mel had the name changing ceremony. And
No mother storyline though. You can be a support, no storylines for the mamas.
right, like where you're so involved. This is not what it's about. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of it's really petty and embarrassing that a 60, almost 70-year-old woman is arguing with the 30-year-old, 40-year-old woman about a post. Beyonce don't go after everybody that put a negative post. She don't dissect those posts and go back and correct all of them or whatever. No, Mel doesn't have to do that. And they were mixing up the situations.
Okay.
It was not just the people didn't go calling the companies or whatever because of what Mel posted. they did that when you did that to that older content creator. That's when
They didn't
people
do it twice,
started.
though? We didn't have it that didn't happen twice?
It was happening. It continued to happen because they continued not to like her character and said, "How dare you be in Walmart where there's old people that are the biggest spenders, and you threatening to beat a old woman up?"
Mm.
So I'm not saying I didn't do it, but I'm saying that's the stance other people took. Okay.
And they did it when she didn't send them their products, and they paid all that money on that big
Also that.
sliding scale. So it's two, three things with her. Sorry, LaDon.
Yes, yes. So it's easy to once again make Mel the scapegoat. And another thing, y'all, you wasn't checking for Mel. Y'all don't like Mel. So why would Mel go backtrack go help you with trying to clear up something?
Because I was on her Twitter that day. I did not see it. I didn't. When everybody started acting a fool, I was like, well, what the hell happened? Like, what was said? Because she was tweeting, what was said that got took out of context, or what people thought was, was Stormy. And then the other part of me was like,
I knew it wasn't Stormy. I knew that was directed
I
towards
didn't think it
Dusty.
was Stormy. But
Yeah.
then I also thought, well, isn't this like part of the story? Like, don't you just keep the story moving when you keep your mouth
Right.
shut?
So it's like I said,
mean, it'd be like real easy to just bring this back to the screen and discuss it. Now, I don't agree with anybody doing anything to anyone's business, though. I think that should be limits. I don't care what happens. You like the product.
people, well, you know how the consumers are. People have a right to complain about your business.
Oh, do they really? I did not know that.
Oh, yeah,
If
that's
I
why you
pay
get ratings.
$50
That's
for a
why.
Black Friday sale and you don't send me my product, yeah, I'm going to the BB and put an F on your
They have
rating.
a
Yeah, I
right
can
to.
complain. That's my hard-earned money. She did me that way. I was part of that.
Yes, they
Oh,
have
I
a right
meant
to
for this
complain.
show that people shouldn't be doing crazy
Well,
things.
it's just sad that you're a person on the show that has a business, but that's why you're supposed to move a certain way and represent. You know what I mean? And if that means hide your mother in the backwoods and lock her up in the outhouse, then that's what you need to do. Because the only one that's destroying your business is your mama. So that's how I feel about Betty. Okay, Betty can go somewhere under a rock. It's unnecessary. That was years ago. You're still hopping on something. You didn't like Mel before that incident. And the clip showed it. The date shows it. You already was saying ill will towards this woman before that incident. So stop it. And you talked about her kids on those Facebook pages. Let's talk about the tweets you put. So, that's how I feel about her. Now, Hotel, he is a trip. Call me a liar? Can you believe it? Like, you are a clown. In your head, you know what? Nell was his truth, and he didn't like it. Because every time he tried to brush something off, no, not really. Nell said, yes, you did. And you did it off camera also. You told me XYZ and 324. That's what Nell was saying every time.
That's
Nell was saying, yes, you did. And she was not holding back.
That's
And I like that about Nell because, it's not about him looking bad. It's about his truth being seen. You do a lot behind closed doors. You put the battery in a lot of people's back and they get the hit for you. That's the chance they take, though. But at the same time, you need to get hit too. And it is what it is. And he looked like a fool. He tried to pull out paperwork that he slid off to the blogs when they wasn't even supposed to be out back then, and then he didn't want it to be seen no more because he know it didn't hold no weight on what they were really talking about.
That's
so I love the way Mel could sit there and he was so bothered and so ruffled that he ran off a stage like that and couldn't really move because the suit was too tight, and he was like square and stiff when he was trying to run off stage, and she was just sitting there like, yep, you sure did. Yes, you did. I was like, I love it. He is so ruffled and unbothered, So I was happy about that. Now I'm gonna go to poor Tiffany and Lou. Let
Okay.
me say like this because they're real easy.
Okay.
I feel bad for Tiffany, that she had her postpartum.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as um the other stuff, she knew what she signed up for too. She was willing to be that one to say the stuff that people wouldn't say. So don't get mad at the tweets, the responses you're gonna get. Another Tisha. When it's good, when you get the good tweets, you're fine. But as soon as some people start not liking you, or you see more of it, then it's bothering you more. Because I remember you sitting on that interview talking about your skin was thick and you could take this. So I'm glad though that they're taking a break from the show, because I just didn't feel like she wasn't really bringing anything of substance.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I feel about them. Maurice and Kimmy's just she's just there. She just exists. She doesn't matter. Um, I'm not feeling them. They're a hit or miss. They're a hit or miss. Um, Kiki, I'm gonna say this. I'm always gonna pull for her recovery and for her to do better in life. But what I'm gonna say is, you had a cut. You said you are made for this. A natural born star from little. You said you was made for this. Then you should always be on ready, because Melody Cherie is. And when you come to the reunion again, empty-handed, and you said nobody didn't, you can't say nobody didn't give you a chance, because they ain't supposed to. You're supposed to take the chance. Tisha had her envelope. Tisha kept taking the chance. She kept getting louder. She wouldn't catch a break. She came ready, and you weren't. And everything you said didn't hold no weight, because you didn't have anything else to back it up. On YouTube, on your YouTube, you went to the clinic and got another test done. Yes, she did. With a real doctor at a company, a real legitimate company. Yes, she did.
Mm-hmm.
And she did pass that test, because it
Mm-hmm.
is a special test. That was on Kiki to bring that paper to shut them down. She
Yeah.
ain't supposed to
So
expect.
I'll say this, LaDon. I agree with you. I feel like Kiki didn't bring the other things. Like I think that Kiki could have said, "Listen, it was a over-the-counter test, and you have to send those tests out. The tests that I tested. You know what I'm
She
saying? Like,
says she's smarter than them. That's when she should have showed. She should have taught them.
yeah, that's true. I
She
agree.
should have took that chance right there and been like, "Bam, y'all idiots! This is how it is. Here go the paperwork. Boom, boom, bam." And then he would have had
Mhm.
that same dumb look on his face when he was Marceau had that same dumb look on his face when he was looking at Tiffany like that. Okay, but they were relishing on her stumbling.
I caught that, the dumb look that he had on his face when
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
they were I think he probably realized he might have pushed too hard at Tiffany with all this with all the
Yes, he did.
comments. And then
Yep.
Lou, I know Lou was like, listen, I'm not here to protect you because he's on the road. So he's like, you're coming off of the show. But I don't think she wanted to. But I
Mhm.
understand that she was choosing herself. She has to
And
choose
it's
herself,
good.
baby. And it's a smart thing to do because, like Carlos King said, people don't. They can get really locked into this thing, but they become so addicted to being on TV that they don't know when to say when. So
Right.
we got some good tea tonight from all of the cast, I think. But let
But
me
you know what though?
uh-huh.
Real quick, and where he failed Kiki too,
Mhm.
because Kiki and Tiff had problems this season, right? And last season. You
Mhm.
so
We didn't
busy
bring it up.
pushing Kiki and Tisha. Why didn't you allow them to be on stage and talk their problem out too?
Yeah,
Or confront each other on the stuff Tiffany was doing to Kiki.
I think
Like,
I think Kiki's gonna come back on stage
I hope so,
for next
because
week.
they're jipping her.
I
Tisha's not
think.
the only one. You know, like they got to spread the problems out. But you know who I want to say was, of course, uh, Marceau
What about him?
showed he was the MVP.
Okay. Why does
And
he
you
get
know
MVP?
why?
Why?
Because he didn't hold no bars. He didn't care. He even said it about his own wife. He threw everybody under the bus. He was just like, bam, bam, bam. Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, you did this. He even his own wife.
My favorite part was when he told Martell, does she know that you're not in a relationship?
Okay.
Because baby, she operates like you're in a relationship.
Yes.
And I'm telling you right now, listen, I know everybody's like Martell's dangerous. Martell's in a dangerous situation with that one by making her think that she's in a relationship and then
That's the one.
her
That's what I
every
said.
2 minutes. That
That's what I
will get you hurt. We've seen all kinds of TV shows about it. And he keeps
That's what
They
I
will
said. That's
cancel
the
each
one he got to
other.
worry about is her.
Ty wants me to let y'all know that Marceau is not the MVP.
Oh, listen, I don't like him, but he was throwing them shots, though. He was throwing them shots, and it was
Okay.
landing because they was the truth.
Let's get to Miss Cheryl because I got so many of y'all I still have to go through, but I appreciate you, LaDon. You're always a good time. So you can stay up here if you'd like. And Miss Cheryl, how are you tonight?
Hi, how you doing, Miss Diana?
I'm
Hi,
awesome.
hi, panel.
What you got for it?
He ain't no MVP. Marceau is not no MVP.
Uh-oh.
For one thing, he too much in women's business. He need to go get a life or go get a hug. I don't know what to tell that man.
Can I say this about Marceau though? Marceau, when he realized that they weren't talking about him anymore,
Exactly.
lit up. He was like, "Now it's my time to shine." He had a smile on his face, like he bought tickets to a show.
I'm telling you, he make my ass itch.
Uh-oh.
But anyway, he really do. Kiki, like I said before, she didn't let loose. I would have let loose on Marceau and Letitia.
Yeah.
They're no better than her. And she should have windmilled on them tonight. She should have. Because they sit there like with this holier than thou attitude when they got a pass too. They're frauds. Everybody knows that they're frauds. If if you're not gonna windmill, then don't say nothing. Just let it go. Just either you're gonna say what you gotta say or just forget it. And I don't think Kiki wanna say nothing because she loved her cousin.
I do too. I think she cares about Tisha more than she wants to admit. And I think she's watching this breakdown happen and you can just see the shock on her face.
She loved her cousin, and somehow in somewhere in her mind, she feels she's gonna betray her. When if anything, I would have just threw up a lot of their past, their lawsuits and everything else that I might could bring up and windmill them, windmill on them, But she didn't do it. You gotta come out there and like stand up. Don't let nobody say all that stuff to you, and you don't say much, But and all right, no. Your husband cheating. I got proof he cheating. I got this and that and this and that. Come back at them.
Yeah.
She didn't do enough of that to me, in my opinion.
I hear you. I was shocked. I also thought that they did come down on her a lot.
Yeah, Carlos especially. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him.
But I also agree that he asked the questions that were in social media, and I knew that people were going to say, she handled it well. She handled the questions well. She really did. But she was also still kind of in a state of shock with what was going on with her cousin. So she didn't know how to handle herself in that moment. I shouldn't say handle herself, but you can just tell she was overwhelmed by what happened.
Right, because she do a lot of windmilling on social media. She be breaking on social media.
I know.
I expected her to do the same thing tonight.
Okay.
That's true. That's true. Now,
that's my thing.
That's what I said. I said people who watch her on social media are gonna be like, "Where's that Kiki?"
Right. Where was that energy?
Yeah.
She seemed like she loved her cousin. She don't want to come out and say a lot of her dirty little past because Letitia got a lot of skeletons in her closet, and so does Marceau.
Right.
In fact, all the Scotts, if you ask me. So and as far as Tiffany and Big Lou. I'm glad in the way that they did leave the show. I'm hoping she do take care of the PTSD that she's dealing with, you know. But he did see some changes in Tiffany because she became more messier. She became more trifling. She's always putting her nose in things because you heard him say, you know, my wife was saying some stuff too, even though that didn't justify Marceau and Martell ganging up on her. We all know that they're two peas. I ain't gonna say the rest of it, but you know, and I think, you know, he saw a little change in his wife that he didn't like. You know, how she was always up in the business, you know, being messy, you know. So maybe he saw some changes in her in that too. And I think they're doing a lot better. They seem like they're doing a lot better, you know.
I hear you.
So, you know, but I ain't got much to say about Tiffany because she is a Karen. I ain't gonna lie. She's definitely a Karen.
Okay.
And Martell, speaking of Karens, Martell.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I
Mark.
mean, he put on this facade from the get-go. No, he's not going to be able to. He can't say he in a relationship with Ariane because he's seeing other women, and the other women he's seeing is listening. So yeah, of course, he put on this facade on social media. He used it as a highlight reel so he can make things look like they're co-parenting good and they're doing this and that. He know he don't want Ariane. He know it, she know it, and everybody know it. So when she's on here saying that's her man and she's gonna stand by him, that's not your man. He's not your man if he's sleeping with other women. He's not your man.
But here's the thing, Cheryl. This is the saddest part. Everybody comes down on her, and listen, I ain't even trying to protect her because at this point, the girl is something years old. She's allowed herself to be in this horrible, effed up place where she is getting older and dumber at the same time. But Martell is lying to that girl and keeping her in a damn
Right. Right. And I've been saying that all along. I said the one person that's the most dangerous one is her.
It's her.
He's not dangerous. She is. Because when she wakes up and find out that she's been used all this time and he don't really love her, he's the one that need to watch his back.
Right. I won't say that he's not dangerous, but she definitely effing is.
I think she's more dangerous than him. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because there's women on Snap.
I can see waking up one morning and be like, oh, damn, Martell gone. Because that is the type of crazy that girl is.
Right. If I can't have you, ain't nobody gonna have you. It's
right.
on Snap.
He's
the show Snap.
In a relationship. They're the same.
Right. And he's lying to her, using her, thinking that that's gonna get under Melody's skin. And he see that it's not. And this is not just him saying it for the camera. That man do not feel he's in a relationship with her. Whether she want to accept it or not, that's on her. But he do not feel like they're in a relationship. He said it out of his mouth, and Nell confirmed it.
And Nell confirmed it, and the cameras confirmed it. Nobody forced him to say anything. And we all know that she wrote this doggone post, period.
Right.
She wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right.
And the second I read it, I was laughing like, oh,
right.
She makes him do things, and he gets nervous when he be on stage yelling at Melody. She didn't do that. Da-da-da. He does not want to go home and have her put a pinky finger on the table with a little butcher knife and take it.
And the reason why he go on social media anyway is because he want the whole world on social media to think that Melody was the problem all along. This is the manipulating game. Martell is a manipulator, master manipulator at it. Make people think she was the problem all along and make it look like he upgraded. And he know that Ariane is not no upgrade. So I don't even know why he wastes his time getting on social media with the facade.
Facts.
Period. So, you know, but I'm just sick of him. I'm sick of his tight suits. I'm sick of he looked like a 5-year-old storming off stage. Like a spoiled little 5-year-old. I mean, when is this man going to grow up? He's 42 years of age.
Right.
You know, it doesn't make any sense. It just, and I'm glad Melody told him, that's why I beat the hell out of you.
Wait a minute.
Rolling when she said that.
I forgot I left that part. She sure did. Listen, Martell was such a drama queen that everybody was sitting there laughing like, well, wait a minute. He's going to get paperwork to prove that he was actually in a relationship with someone he just said he was in a business relationship with.
Right.
Are you okay? Evil.
And you bringing papers, you're bringing papers there that you conjured up, that you typed up, that you had Dirty Bird type up. They're not even the legit, because Melody said she want to see transcripts. She said those are not the transcripts.
Right.
These are things he made up that he
Right.
typed up or had somebody type up for him. Martell, his whole life was a lie. Everything about Martell is a lie. Everything.
You read it. She was like, I ain't reading that shit. You read it.
He gonna ask her to look for it.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious. Anywho, let me get to Miss Blessed Queen B. I appreciate you, Miss Cheryl.
Thank
We just
you.
got so many people up here. You're welcome to stay. And hey, Miss Blessed Queen, how are you?
I'm good, honey. How are you? Hi, everyone in the chat. Hi, LaDawn.
Hello.
Hi to all the
Hey.
mods and everybody. It's been a minute since I've been on any
Yes,
channel.
it's been a minute. Well, welcome back.
Yeah, well, school, I'm a pensioner in college, so, school has really been schooling. Plus, I had a concussion and, a lot of medical issue, but thank God I'm alive to get into the mess. So.
Well, I'm happy that you are well enough to join us today. So thank you. So what are your thoughts on everything, Miss Blessed Queen?
Okay, I would start where I in the age bracket of Miss Betty, stay in your lane.
Mm-hmm.
Betty, stay in your lane, because snap. Melody is like, I have 7 children, so she's like in between my children and them, because I have children older than her and I have children younger than her. And there is no way in hell would I interject myself in my daughter's relationship in the terms of friendship with women, or so Miss Betty, you need to stay. And my kids and I are on Facebook. I see they have issues with their friends. All I tell them, listen to me, Facebook is not the laundromat. You don't air certain things on Facebook and that's it. No, right. Seriously, and that's it. I stay out. I allow them to think. So Miss Betty, she need to stay in her lane, and especially when you have a face like a Westerner, no matter how much makeup you put on that pig, it's still a pig.
Oh, God, Blessy back.
Blessy got time like to Westerner, pull and draw, stay in your lane. It seems also that you have a husband that you lie down next to by the night and something ain't working because you are unsatisfied. So you frustrating everybody else with your frustration. So I'll start there and stop there with Miss Betty. So no, saying Elaine, that is not cool, because you're putting Melody in a position, because Melody grew up the way that I grow my children. You got to respect your elders. But what I also told them, that if the elders do not know to respect themselves and to respect the place, you go in and come to me, tell them, come to your mother. I would finish it. So, Miss Betty, you overstep a line and you pushing Melody to be disrespectful to you on television. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Tiffany, postpartum is something that is real. It's something that should be talked about, because a lot of Black women do not get treatment for postpartum because we are taught not to talk about it. We are taught to pray about these situations. It's going to pass. Even me, sometimes I find myself, even in this age, even I know, okay, drink some bush medicine because it's going to pass, because that is what I was taught. When you feel bad, you feeling depressed, oh, shake it up, go and take a walk, go and take a shower. No. Postpartum is something that is real. And it affects Black women more than we know, because we don't talk about it.
That's true.
I wish that could be something that could be highlighted more, and they can show that women need to not only go to God, because God is the ultimate, but also talk to somebody, go to counseling, get help. Because when you get up and you have a newborn baby, you don't feel to shower, that child cry, irritate you, everything. If you haven't walked down that road, you really wouldn't understand it. And it's not a pretty road to walk on.
Mm-hmm.
It is not.
That's
So I
true.
wish that, they would highlight it, because, highlight that some more, and talk about that some more, just as Kimmy is, a glorified mistress who is married now, because she's no better than Arian. She's just now a married mistress. But anyway, she could have talked more about, breast cancer and all the preventive method and all this kind of thing, instead of you talking about your little boy toy with his little pee want to pee every minute. Come on, stay to the back of the class with that BS. Pass me with that. You know? As for Marcel, for the longest while, I want somebody to give Marcel a tampon
Oh my
and
gosh.
a pad, because he is bleeding from his mouth and his rectum. So he needs to be plugged, period. But anyway, with all that being said, in Trinidad, we would call him, I don't think you can say it here, after A, B, a C, C. Because, he always in woman business. So they would have given him a pad and a tampon to plug both ends, because he is running. As for Letitia, Letitia feel that she can throw off on her cousin. And Kiki love her cousin. And she still, despite what it is Letitia is throwing about her marriage, her affair, and all this kind of thing, she's still protecting Letitia, because she know that Letitia cannot handle the truth and would not be able to withstand the truth. And Letitia should appreciate that of her cousin.
That's right.
She should appreciate that Kiki, despite what? You understand what I'm saying? Kiki got her back.
That's right.
Kiki got her back. And as I said, Letitia's wife need to know, she always in menopause. She always in menstrual, she always having menstrual cramp. So she, need to have some pills here, there, and everywhere. As I said, I was missing in the YouTube stream for some months. Well, because since the 20th of September, I fell. I had a concussion, suffering now with a rotator cuff, and I have oxycodone here. I cannot take it because I realize when I take it, it makes me high. Literally, everything look like, all I want for Christmas is a collie herb. Oh, my collie herb. It makes me that high. So I realized that for me. So you know what? I don't take it. Not everybody is aware of what is happening. They're in pain and they want relief. So they take whatever the doctor prescribed. Kiki get on something that was prescribed to her. As she said, she don't do all the illegal and illicit drugs. So come on. That
true.
again is something that need to be talked about.
That's right.
Kiki also need to channel that and forget, because listen to me. Keisha is happy. And this is no jab, so nobody. This is just, although I know words is important, but Tisha is happy in her lesbian relationship. So let's just leave her right there with she and she wife. You understand what I'm saying? So Kiki needs to get over that and leave her, because they're happy in their relationship. You understand what I'm saying? Because Letitia is looking for the same thing that Master is looking for, a man. So she needs to leave that and someone saying focus on herself and look to using her story and her life to help others again. Because the few Black women that they give these strong painkiller, because not all doctors give you these painkiller, they give you Tylenol. because I had surgery before where they just give you Tylenol, codeine for the first 2 days and Tylenol after. And you're in real pain because they think that Black women have the sustenance and the strength to withstand pain.
Okay.
You understand? Yeah, because even so, you look at all the history with C-section and all this kind of thing, they started practicing on Black women without anesthetic and all this kind of thing. They started doing C-section because they think, and one of my professor was telling her, last semester, and she's like, I'm surprised that they didn't give you XYZ because I just went in and tell them I had a pain and they give me this. She said, but anyway, Black people are considered to be pain tolerant. They can tolerate pain.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So they don't treat, and when they do give it to you, they give you strong ones like what they gave her. So that is something that she needs to tap in also to help, thing. Somebody else say something. I wish that Kimmy and her boy toy would come off the screen because they bring nothing to the show whatsoever, period.
That's true.
They bring nothing to the show whatsoever, period, because Kimmy you don't yourself have a cougar role for having, because you as somebody on the show asks, you don't see them kissing, you don't see them lovey-dovey or nothing. And as he said, and she said too, that he like dark skinned woman, she like dark skinned men. Hence the reason that Maurice, if everybody ever notice, Maurice is always at the defense of Tisha. And Maso is always at the defense of Kimmy, because Maso like red-skinned woman, Maurice like dark-skinned woman. I do not know how they end up in relationship where they both consider these women as pals.
That's true. That's
true. Yeah, as girls to talk to, as usual. Melody, Shireen, you can't take nothing away from the queen. But what happened to Master Hook? Did it go his perennial disease? Did it get straightened? Because I don't understand what happened with his perennial disease when he stand up. I was like, wait a minute, Master Rectum gone on diet?
Gone on a diet?
Yeah, because his rectum, he looked like he had no back piece whatsoever. The pants were missing something.
You are in rare form. You hear me? You are in rare form. I'm gonna move on to Trevelyan. I appreciate you. You stay up here. I'm gonna move on to Trevelyan, as we got two more people that have not, or three actually, with Trevelyan that hasn't spoken yet. So let me get her thoughts and opinions on the show tonight. Thank you, Trevelyan.
Hi, Diana. Thank you so much for having me on the panel. Oh my God, you guys have just made my night. I'm in the UK and it's 4:30 a.m. and I could not hang up for the life of me. Blessed, you had me rolling. I'm going to bed on a high note. That's good.
That's good. She's hilarious.
She really is. She really is. But all that aside, I mean, tonight's reunion episode was just packed with all sorts of things to unpack.
Yep.
I'll start with the Kiki issue for sure. I felt she was ambushed. It's shameful, and it actually touches me, that the issue with Kiki, because I lost my baby sister in 2022 due to substance abuse. And the journey was a very long one. And much like Kiki's, she was in an accident, and then they prescribed meds to her. It started off that way. She was in a lot of agony, and then eventually they cut off her prescriptions and she resorted to other stuff. The long and short of it, at the young tender age of 34, we buried her. And so, yeah, and it's been a long thing, but much like a lot of people, they take it lightly, and they ostracize the person that's going through the addiction. And much like what Tisha and Marceau are doing, all the finger pointing, and to them, I feel it's strongly deflection to take away from what's really going on in their lives. They focus and highlight her faults or whatever's going on with her instead of giving her the support that she needs and encouraging her to turn her life around. So with that said, I will say, just having gone with my sister for testing and all this all stuff, it's easy for people to assume that because somebody has been proven to be an addict, that every single time they high and they're lying all the time. And that's not the case. You know, people need to stop that stigma. You know, addiction is a disease. And if people could overcome it overnight, we wouldn't have this problem in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, with testing, people are quick to just throw stuff out there when they don't have the knowledge. They haven't done the research. They don't know how it truly works. So I understand that, having firsthand seen it happen and witnessed it myself in my dealings with my sister, that yes, certain kits don't detect everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so that right there tells me, and just looking at and based on experience, I do believe that she is clean and she is on her recovery journey, but it's people that keep throwing accusations, and even how she was bombarded on the reunion today. Those are the kind of triggers that send somebody back down a downward spiral.
Mm-hmm.
And I just encourage everybody to think before they open their mouths. And it's not a storyline when you're dealing with real life issues like that. Like it's never okay. But that said, I hope she comes back in the next episode and redeems herself, because she took a lot of blows.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I was quite surprised that, you know, she didn't give back as good as she got. But here we are. We'll wait and see.
We'll see. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. With
It was
regards to
great.
sorry, go ahead.
Well, she was on the reunion, I think, season 5, but she really didn't. She didn't have a whole lot. It was just her and Tisha. It was her and Tisha again this season, but hopefully, if she does come back, it'll be under a different storyline.
Absolutely, absolutely. With regards to Martell, oh my God, where do I start?
Mhm.
He's a pathological liar, in my opinion. He displays bratty behavior every step of the way. You know, I picture a little kid in the playground, and I can't even say kindergarten, it's pre-reception class,
Mm-hmm.
where they throw these tantrums when they don't get their way. And, you know, I just don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
He's one thing I know for sure is that he lacks self-love. So he can't be expected to love anybody because he doesn't love himself. That's very clear, because no one can have any type or any form of self-love and then treat people the way Martell does.
Mm-hmm.
He's despicable, I believe he's deranged, and he's actually dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a pathological liar. I can't get over the lies that he tells. I actually pity him, but not enough to feel sorry for him. He
Mm-hmm.
has to dislike himself so much in order to project that behavior to people. And my advice to him is he needs to really seek help before it's too late, because I can't think of the path he's going on at this rate.
Right.
And for the people that keep saying Mel is still in love with him, and I don't know how they see that. I see a woman that is so over this man, and she's really, I'm not going to say fear, but she has to guard herself because she knows who she is. She's not walking in fear when it comes to him, but she has to guard herself because she knows what she's dealing with. And people make these silly comments based off what we've seen. Can we even begin to imagine the stuff she's put up with that we haven't seen?
Mm-mm.
And you know, and they talk about, oh, if she was healed, she wouldn't do this. She's acting like a woman that's hurt. Well, my take on that is, of course, you can't go through all of that stuff after you gave yourself. You shared a life with someone and not expect to experience hurt from it. It doesn't matter how many years pass. You can heal from something, But when triggers take place, every trigger is going to remind you. It brings that hurt back to the forefront. So this is something that could be a lifelong thing that she's going to carry with her. I know I carry a lot of hurt from my broken down marriage. My husband was an abuser. He was, I got away from that. I mean, I can't even begin to go on to all the stuff that he did, but I left. But till this day, when I see red flags in any potential suitors or whatever, it takes me back to that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always reminded. So you don't ever get over that hurt.
Okay.
And so I don't know why they expect something different from Mel, like she's some kind of magician or something. She's human. The woman is living it daily, and he's not letting her forget. He's not giving her the space she needs to fully walk in this newness that she's made for herself. So I just want to encourage her to keep doing what she's doing. And there's a saying that I really, really believe in, and I walk in it every day, is just because I walk with God doesn't mean you get to walk all over me.
Oh, wow. That's a nice,
yeah. And people need to really realize that, because they expect that because you identify as a Christian and a praying woman or whatever, that you're supposed to just take all kinds of abuse laying down because, that's not Christian behavior to lose your temper. That's not Christian behavior to do this. Well, no, I have to stand on the word, and I have to stand in what I believe in, but I also have to defend myself. God fights for me, but he gives me the weapons to fight for myself too.
That's
and
true.
So, yes, I'm a Christian. I walk with God, but you don't get to walk all over me.
That's right.
And that's kind of where we sum it up. And I'm Marcel and Tisha are not even worth a mention. Honestly, they're just so irrelevant.
Okay.
Well, that's how I feel. They've been.
Diana, I think I had a phone call.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's Cheryl. It's Cheryl.
Oh, okay, Cheryl. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
Thank you, Trevelyan. I appreciate you. This is your first time out?
It is my first time. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate your channel.
I hope you come back. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night. Get some sleep. She's up at 4:30 a.m. to talk with us today. Okay, so hey, Miss Gail. She's calling from the UK. Thank you for calling from the UK, girl. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Miss Gail, what are your thoughts on tonight's show? Uh-oh, she may have fallen asleep. No, Miss Gail?
No, I'm here.
You're here. Okay, sorry about that. How are you?
I'm fine. I was away from the phone. No, I'm here. One thing you didn't ask is what we rated the show. If you did ask, I didn't hear it.
That's okay. What'd you rate the show?
I gave it a 9. I actually this time counted. I mean this reunion, the second part, I actually found it was kind of funny in some parts. It was kind of good. I think they answered some questions, and I do think the cast was able to see Martell's lies, because even Marceau even told Melanie, "You let us sit up here and ask some questions, and you already knew he was lying."
Listen, this is the first time we got to see, and maybe that's just how they edit, previous episodes, but this is the first time when Martell walked off that stage. And first of all, that jacket looked tiny. It looked like his arms were hiked up because
and his pants looked like they were sagging too.
Oh my God, it was a lot. But when he walked off the stage, every single body on that stage were howling like, oh my God, this Negro is serious. And he just told us that they weren't in a relationship. So why is he going to get paperwork to prove he was in a relationship? What is this about?
What is it supposed to prove?
It was awful.
Oh,
I mean, that doesn't tell you that somebody's mind is gone. Nothing does.
He is slow. I swear, slow.
Yeah, I did. I thought so. Actually, I thought it was. I had forgot. Kimmy did say a long time ago that she thought that it felt like more of a business deal more than a relationship. She did say that before, but I wanted to say this. I kind of wanted to go back. First, I want to go to Betty. You know, I know I heard Dustin what he just said, so I'm gonna piggyback off of something that Dustin just said.
Okay, what
When
did Justin
Stormy
say?
brought Dustin was saying that almost like Mel should have cussed out. He basically said that she came on that cast to try to blow up the cast. She came on there to try to blow up the cast, and she shouldn't have been there. That
Okay,
he basically he pretty much told Carlos, "Don't bring her back." He didn't say
don't
don't
bring
bring her
it back.
back, but yeah, that she shouldn't come back. But so
Okay.
I'm gonna go to Betty. First of all, with Betty, you had no fight with Melanie. You didn't like it, and he asked her, "You've been watching this
No.
show since season one." Why Stormy was sitting over there saying, "Well, you had people saying that they were going to take my products off the shelf." Girl, people were saying your products was off the shelf because they wasn't getting paid for their orders. Don't put that on Mel. Put that back on you. But she said that they were going to take my product off the shelf. And like Mel said, Stormy, you could have reached out to me. Betty wanted to fight with Mel, and Mel wouldn't give her one. That's why she said, "You still sitting here arguing with your husband, and y'all been divorced for 3 years or whatever." I didn't even understand that. I don't even know why they even had them talking to each other. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Just like she said, you're old enough to be my mom. I felt that if they were going to have Betty on there coming after Mel, they should have had Miss Van on there to fight for Mel. That should have been a fight between them two, not Melanie. And
Well,
Stormy sitting there.
I don't think they expected it because Carlos King's face. I ain't trying to be like funny, like taking up for him, but the way he looked at her when she did that little evil laugh at the end, he literally was like, where am I? What is going on? Even when Stormy
Yeah.
was trying to call, like, mom, Betty, he went, Stormy, like, I cannot have all three of y'all screaming. And then him trying to get Betty under control. And then when she does that crazy maniacal, like, at the end, he really looked shocked, like, what the hell are you up here for? So I can't wait to see what happens next week. I want to see how he handles that. And I want to see how Stormy handles it too, because she's not a good reflection. Melody and Stormy were talking to each other and getting out what they needed to get out. But the fact of the matter is, if the shoe was on the other foot and Stormy had walked into someone's house where their mother didn't like them and was interacting, and that person knew, Stormy would have gave the same energy. She would have done the same exact thing. And that is what I don't know. I just need to see what happens next week.
Yeah, Stormy knew her mother didn't like Mel. There's no way that her mom. She said she didn't. Well, I'm getting away from the show. Let me just kind of go back to the show. Kiki. So with Betty, that whole situation, I thought this is ludicrous. It's not even making any sense. It's not even a deep fight. It does. The fight was senseless to me.
Right.
Melanie had already said that somebody else had recorded it, and when she discovered that they were talking about Stormy, she apologized. And Stormy was like, "Well, I did know that you saw." And she said, "Stormy, how do you know that I saw it?" "Well, I know that you did." You don't know. It was it was really like a juvenile fight. It made no sense whatsoever. I didn't that to me was like a waste of airtime because Betty looked over there. She really did look like Betty Kruger at the end. And Stormy, she wouldn't let Stormy talk. So actually, even Courtney put his hand down, like his head down, like this is crazy. So that whole point with that really, they could have kept that one. Really.
Well,
But Kiki,
someone's asking, why did Carlos ask Betty? Because they had an actual interaction where we saw Betty have conversations with Stormy about Melody. It was a big deal. And at the end of the day, Melody told Stormy, you and I will not continue to be friends because of your mama. They literally met to have smoothies. And Stormy tried to say, listen, I'm not my mother. She's always been this way. She's always interfered with my relationships. And Mel said, I'm in a place right now in my life where I am done with mamas. So they did have
Right.
that conversation because Mel and Stormy were good right up until that point.
And
Okay.
I think, in my opinion, I think Betty jealous of Mel anyway. I mean, look at her. I mean, she's a young, beautiful, successful woman. So I think it's jealousy. She has no
but
business
I think
like Melody.
Stormy is actually successful as well, and I think Stormy is
Is
beautiful too.
she?
So
I
I mean, well, I mean,
don't
business
know. The way
stuff
she
I
happens.
mean, she is successful, even if
She's had some
Yeah,
patience, still
businesses.
do.
In Stormy's defense, I know everybody's saying that she has these lawsuits and stuff like that, but that's kind of a norm with most companies when things happen.
it
So,
is.
and she's basically, she's rebuilding now because she's making money on TikTok. So as long as she handled herself, like she said, I built my business up very fast by myself, and there's things she didn't know that she's learning. So I'm kind of I'm not. I hope she's building. I don't want to put her down, but her daughter, basically, that's what her energy should have been with her daughter, basically
I want to see
rebuilding
what
from what
happens
she
next
had.
week because the conversation Stormy had was my mother has always interfered with my relationships, with my friendships. Y'all remember her saying that?
Yeah, she did say that.
Yep.
That every friend I've ever
Yes.
had, my mother has competed or interfered in some kind of way. So
Are they
we
bringing Stormy back out next week?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think they wrapped up with Melody and Stormy. I'm guessing they're going to pick up where they left off, like they did with Kiki and Tisha. But I just want to see if he actually brings that conversation up. But outside of that, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well,
It just felt weird.
yeah. And earlier I heard someone on a panel and they were talking about Kiki, and that this Kiki reunion last year, she wasn't even on there, but maybe just a little bit. And this is her second reunion. What Kiki should have done is probably should have went back and watched all the old reunions and to have herself prepared for this reunion. And
Watch
I
this show.
can't.
She
She should have
absolutely
did
watched
something.
the reunions. I think she just didn't expect Tisha to strike the way she struck. I just don't
That's
think
true too.
Tisha had a little a piece of stapled paper. Carlos was like, "There's a lot of shit on that damn paper," because she was like, she got plenty to say about her life. She was gonna go point by point to talk about that girl's life.
Oh yeah, she was. She really was. She really was. But on top of that, I just kind of felt like that. Even Dustin said when I listened to him earlier, he said that he 100% said. Dustin said this to Carlos. Kiki is not still on drugs. That needs to stop. He said, I do not believe that Kiki is on drugs. I personally don't believe that Kiki is on drugs. I feel like Tisha and Marcel want to put that out there. And Marcel made that comment. Well, she said, Kiki said, if you know anything about me, I don't do stuff like this. I don't try to attack anybody else's marriage. And Marcel said, yeah, you did it for a storyline. No, I think they're saying that she was on drugs for a storyline. I think that's what a storyline actually came from, because
So let me ask a question, because Tisha said something that was actually a tad bit significant at the beginning when she says, "I listened to the phone call," and we all heard that phone call. So when she said, "I listened to the phone call," and Kiki, when you were saying, "Ooh, I really want to know what you got on Marceau," she was like, that was a moment I knew you weren't there to get information from me. Was she wrong?
I think so. To me, I honestly, Diana, if it, let me just say, if it was my sister and I, and somebody had some information, I don't know, she could have been right, because I don't get in people business like that. But if somebody had some information on my brother-in-law or something like that, I would specifically want to know what that is. I don't think I would have went through the lengths that Kiki went through. If
So
Tisha wanted to find
point
out
blank
some
says,
information,
but
huh?
Tisha point blank says, I listened to the call. You start off by when the guy is telling you, I don't have anything, you are begging him to give you information on Marceau. When he says, I would rather talk to Tisha myself, she said that was Kiki's opportunity to patch me into this call. And she did
Oh
not.
yeah.
So
No,
there
yeah,
was
she
some
should have.
things that she point directly, like we aren't thinking about it from her side because not everybody's a big fan of Tisha. But when she said it, I was like, she got a point.
She
She
does
has
have a
a point.
point. She does have a point. She does seriously have a point. I agree with everybody else that Kiki seems to want to save Tisha, and I don't know why she wants, because I do think there's things that she could say about Tisha. I think there's things that she could say about Wanda as well, but she kind of hold back on them. She held back last year and she held back this time, but we all saw that Tisha wasn't holding nothing back. She
So
however it came
we
out.
keep getting stuck on this. Why did she ask for information in the first place? Again, I don't know what has been said outside of the first time, but the first time she said she came to me and asked me to fire my makeup artist. Kimmy's makeup artist had already been fired. They were looking to fire Kiki's makeup artist, Kiki said, before we fire my makeup artist, I need to make sure that this, accusation is legitimate. They talked about what the rumor was, and then Kiki went into action. But the truth of the matter is, I don't know how old Kiki is. I'm getting a private message. One momento. Kiki did what she did to get info. Kiki dropped the ball about not adding her. However, Tisha don't want to know. But at the same time, I understand what everybody's saying. It takes a lot. I don't know. Maybe it just takes a lot for me. You're not going to ask me to check on your husband's penis. Ever.
Me
Ever,
either.
ever. If you
Right.
ask the question, that means you already know the answer. I'm not
Yep.
doing it. Period.
I'm not
I
doing it
don't
either.
want to bring you back no bad news, okay?
And
That's how I
Diana,
feel about it.
Diana, can I
And
say
especially
something?
with Tisha, she's been through it. Even if she taking it to Tisha, Tisha would still just turn around and put it back on Kiki
The
or put it back
request
on
was
whoever.
fire your makeup artist because I believe my husband. You're turning it into, well, let me check to make sure your husband didn't, so I don't have to fire my makeup artist, is never the move. Never ever
But
in a
Diana,
million years. It's never going to be the move. You either tell her no, it don't even make sense to me, no, or I don't even know, I can get you a name that you can check on, but I'm never going to go Inspector Gadget for your husband's penis. Ever. Period.
Nobody for
even
that.
if she did
Yeah.
know, would she leave Marcel if she did know? If she had
No.
proof, she still wouldn't leave
No.
Marcel anyway. So,
But we making that the secondary. It don't matter. She wasn't going to leave him. She said,
right.
fire her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically what Diana is saying is she's saying get rid of her. I'm keeping my man, but get rid of her.
Right. Right.
Right.
So
The
that's
Right.
extra
That
sauce
says
to
it all.
find out if there was any truth to the rumor was never the move. That was never the way it was supposed to happen. And then you got yourself caught up because that boy that they kept saying on stage, that boy said, I'm not going to let you guys use this conversation that you're taping your way. I'm going to take it to her directly. And he got a hold of her before you got a hold of her. And that's like, we all saw that as a train wreck, even when they were talking about it, before we even saw the rest of it. If someone just gave you the premise and said, this is what someone asked, you would flip out and be like, you couldn't be that crazy. Okay. There's
yeah.
just no way. So that's why I'm saying to you guys, for me to make this make sense, the only reason I can assume Kiki went that extra yard for Tisha is because she either really wanted to get back into Tisha's good graces and have that relationship again, or like Tisha said, why are you so giddy about finding out if my husband's having an affair? And then when he point blank told you no, right? He point blank said, and we all heard the call, I don't have anything. I don't know it. I can tell you based on the relationships that something may have happened, but I don't know for sure. And he kept asking them to please let him talk to Tisha first because he had a business relationship with her. So he looks like he had more of an allegiance to Tisha than Kiki did. That is
Yeah.
just my opinion.
And I
I
just want
didn't
to
hear
add
the
this
call,
real
so
quick.
I didn't hear the call. I remember the roundabout call. I mean, I remember the conversation of the calls, but I didn't actually hear the calls. But at the same time, I thought the little banter between Mel and Kimmy was pretty funny. But I do respect what they said at the end. You know, if you don't have concrete information, just leave it alone because it's been 5 years, and at the same time she's not going to believe it anyway. They didn't say she's not going to believe it, but that's really what they're kind of not saying, that she ain't going to believe it anyway. And because if you look at if you looked at Martell and Maurice's face, they were like, just let this go. You know, just let this go. And that's kind of why they said it like that. With Martell, I'm glad that Melanie busted him with Ariane. Ariane, you know, Ariane has so much on Martell. It's stuff that Melanie could probably take him down with if the woman Ariane actually told him that. I used to always say that he took up for her because, you know, maybe he didn't want her to go file child support, or maybe he didn't want her to do something, because I never understood why he only took up for her in front of Melanie. But everybody else, oh, she's a peasant, she's 15%, or she's immature, or she's this and she's that, or I'm not dating anybody and anything. So I was kind of wondering, did he come out and act a fool on, when he said, show my real life, I don't want her, because he knew this was coming out and Ariane was going to see it? I don't understand that.
He didn't write that "show my real life" mess. We ain't never heard that. And then in here, we've never heard Martell say "show my real life," not on social media, not on the show, not on any damn place. The one thing we have heard, the person we have heard say "show my real life" or he needs to show his real life is the mouth.
Exactly.
Heard say it. That's it.
Yeah, but even when he was on Queen Sheba, he was saying that she should be able to come on, and because people have talked about her.
He was saying it so that he didn't lose a pinky toe. I'm telling
you.
Okay,
got it. Okay, well, that's why he got it. But
listen to how crazy that sounds. He's saying that stuff on public. I want her to come on the show, and then in private, on and off screen, as they pointed out, he's telling all the people that have connections with Melody that he wants to get home with Melody. There's something wrong with that conversation. He's really outward, and when he wants to act like, oh, I don't see anything wrong with her. That man is afraid of that woman. Let's face it. If we should know that by now, then he went to jail, for Pete's sake, because of something that she said, okay? Melody was singing and dancing, he's going to jail, after the audio came out. So she incriminated him, and he is still trying to protect her and take up for her. He's lost everything
he has
due to that relationship.
But Dyana, okay, I asked this question. Do any of us really believe that he really want Melanie back, or he just wants the life he once had?
He doesn't know what he wants at this point.
Well,
but
Melody comes along with that life that he wants. Melody comes along with it. He think he gonna spend some money without Melody?
I think people always say he doesn't
Melanie
want
does
Melody.
come along with that. But I mean, is he really in love with her?
I think people always
he regrets what he did, but he
regrets
what he did.
Well, but he don't love nobody, to be honest.
In fact, that's what I'm saying. He can't, because
nobody, but at the end of the day, what he thought was an upgrade, he now know that she's just as low level, and she's at grade D.
They were
he left grade A.
They were together for a long time, since they were they were both young. People say that Melody was young. They were both young, and they built something together. They built an empire together. They were winning together, and he clearly, like I said, he lost everything. Holt Manor was a thing.
Yes.
Can you imagine getting yourself that close to multi-millions? He was already a millionaire, but getting yourself that close to something, having your name put on something, coming from this family where, not to be insulting about his family, but he's talked about it, his dad, being locked up, his brother, and all of a sudden you are literally getting it out of the mud. Like, people like to say that, but he was literally living the American dream as we have heard it taught to us all of our lives. And to have it escape your fingers as quickly as it did, and in the manner that it did, because of some foolish ass choice. I believe that every chance he gets, I think it sits with him like a little devil on his shoulder.
It does.
I think so too. I think people always say he doesn't love Melody. And I said this, he does not know love.
Yeah.
Martell still has a lot of work to do on himself before he has to forgive his past. He has to work on a lot of things himself, but he misses the love that he received from his wife. I do feel that. I feel like he misses his family.
Not just the
love he received.
He misses being protected, because what Melody did, and this is something that this is stuff that we just see on the show. I'm just a huge fan of the show. I forgot which scene it was. I think they had went to Marceau's bar, and I remember they were cracking jokes on Martell. This was after they had divorced. Melody and Martell had divorced. They started cracking jokes on Martell, and Melody looks over and said, "Stop letting them." dog you like that, or stop letting them make fun of you. And Marceau starts laughing and said, Melody always protects Martell. And I went, wow, because we, like she said today, you let that girl say whatever she wants to about you. And there were things that I would never think to even say. And you can go back and look at those old episodes when they were in confessional. Melody would say something that Martell didn't like, and Melody would adjust it so that it came out the right way. She did. They were the couple, period. He messed it up. He will not get it like that again. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He can dream about it, but it probably won't happen like that. But I'm gonna answer Ty's question because she's in the back writing. But she said something like, what did she say? I think she was talking about that guy who Kiki was talking to. She said, if he didn't have anything, why do he want to talk to Tisha? My guess is if he signed a 5 or 10 year lease where he was going to be next door to Tisha, you don't want to start that relationship off wrong. And knowing that there's, a group of people who had a lot of information that they were going to push to be on a show, he was protecting himself. So I actually thought he was smart. I like the way he handled himself, even though a lot of people didn't. I would have done the same thing. I don't know what you guys are going to do with this tape. So I'd rather just tell him myself and get it over with. So that was
but
my.
you know what,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say two things, and I was going to then I was going to just let somebody else go.
Okay.
But even when Betty and Mel was going back and forth, Martell was looking at her. The way he was looking at her, he was looking at Betty like, "What the hell is this?" The way I don't know if he was looking at her like he was in concern for Melanie. He just had this certain look about him.
He was trying to be protective over Melody.
He did.
But
he
at
did.
the same time, he did. I saw it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he looked like he was trying to be protective of her, and at the same time, Stormy kind of sat on the stage, and she was saying "Mama," and then she said "Betty." But if you look at her facial expressions, she didn't really say much when everybody else was talking. And Stormy had said through the whole thing that the show is really about the core six, so she didn't say anything. And when Kiki called her stupid, called Tisha stupid, and she kind of made this look on her face like, well, you are stupid, almost to that expect. And then when Kiki was getting upset, I was happy that they had Courtney, because Courtney was trying to calm her down, because he was sitting on side, like, just telling her, like, wait, because she's there by herself. And then I also respected the fact that when they were trying to bring up Armin, when Tisha and Marceau was bringing up Armin, Maurice was telling them, don't do that. Don't bring up Armin. He was telling them, don't bring up her husband. If you got something to say to her, say it to her, but don't bring him up. So I did kind of respect them, both of those men, in that aspect, to say, hey, her husband's not here. So he was on side, Courtney was on side of, and he was just trying to calm her down just trying to calm her down a little bit. And then you had Maurice telling them, don't bring up because he's not here. If you want to talk to her, you talk to her, but don't bring him up. And I did respect that out of all of them. I don't think Kiki's on drugs. I think Kiki has done interview after interview after interview. But of course, she's just done these interviews because things have come out. And but the reunion was done way back in October. And I do think that she still feels like I have to come out and say, I'm not on drugs. I'm not on drugs. I'm not on drugs. All of us don't believe you're on drugs. If people want to believe that you're still on drugs or teaching them saying you're on drugs, let them say whatever they're going to say. But I hope they do bring her back. And if you look at Carlos and Dustin's thing, I think Dustin is advocating for her to come back. In so many words. I think I hope she comes back as well. I think he is. He's advocating for her to come back. And I hope she does come back. And I hope she comes back. I hope Amin comes back with her. And I'm glad she did tell the truth. Yes, there was infidelity in my marriage on both sides, him and myself. So she told it on herself. But I hope she comes back with a different, just a difference. Not talking about, I'm taking methadone, I'm on drugs. Just do more than what Kimmy did. You know what I mean? Like Kimmy didn't, don't just talk about her sex life when she could have talked about her cancer journey even further. I mean, I hope Kiki comes back with, trying to help somebody else in the same situation she was in. So I do hope they give her grace and bring her back. And then I'm going to say this, I'm a mother of 4. Everybody in this house done had a surgery. When they gave my family Percocets, I threw that shit away. Sorry, I don't know if I can say that or not. I threw it away. You can ask all my family. You get one, and that's the hospital gave. You get the one that the hospital gave you, and then I'm gonna wake up every 4 hours, and you getting to leave, or you gonna get some ibuprofen. But that stuff goes away because it's very easy to get addicted to Percocet. My husband had ankle surgery, and the doctor specifically said, "Be careful with these. Be very careful with this." And I gave it to him. I think he took one or two, and we flushed them. So yes, it's very easy to get addicted to that. And I just hate the way. Yes, Tisha is talking about her marriage, but everybody talk about her marriage. But for you to keep just bashing your sister, your cousin, she's on drugs, and she's this. That's low of the low for her to keep doing that. She knows Kiki's not still on drugs. She just want us to. She got to have a storyline when it comes against it.
We
Kiki.
have to also keep in mind they didn't have a relationship, according to the both of them. They didn't have a relationship, right?
No, they did.
No, they didn't. They had a relationship back in the day. Season 6A, Tisha and Kiki sit down with each other. They sit at that boxing match, and they were, I think it was like kickboxing, and it was about them trying to come back together and be cousins again like they used to. They weren't as close or as they used to be. So they don't really fool with each other like that, though.
Okay, well, good. Well, they don't even have to film with each other. We could talk about a whole other subject next season or right now since they're filming. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you, sis. Thank you for coming up. And then we are going to close it out. That was Miss Gail, everybody. We're going to close it out with Miss Kim. Hey, Kim, how are you? Thank you for ringing in Sunday morning with me.
You're welcome. Mic check, mic check.
You got it, girl.
Okay. Well, I'm sticking with the show. I rated it a 10 plus because it was just all funny to me. It was funny to me. So I got entertained. But I'm going to go on. Who you want me to start with?
You start with who? You got it. You stuck it out till the end. So you got it. Go.
Okay. The part when Martell did go to get those papers, and when Mel said, "I want the transcripts," you have to tell it all. She said, "You know the transcripts. The little lady that's up there typing." Lord, I was like, get him Mel. So, and Marceau was just dogging out Martell and just reading him. If anybody ever paid attention, he knows that you are a liar, a known liar now. So if you bring up about me and my brother going out partying with you and everything, no one's going to believe you anymore because you're a liar. So you can't say I had 20 women. Okay, and if I was Kiki, I would have lied just like Tisha and Martell, whatever her husband. I would have lied. I said, "Yep." Well, who the women? Who the women? I would have said Jan, Marsha, and Cindy from the Brady Bunch.
Okay.
That's what I would have told. You know he messing up. You know he doing this.
Hey,
Kim,
yes, could you put your phone next to your mouth? It looks like you keep going in and out.
That's because I just got heated.
Oh,
And can you hear me now?
I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, but I would have said check Cindy, Jan, and Marsha from the Brady Bunch. He's out there and left it alone. And when they would have started attacking me about the drugs, we both gonna take a drug test because allegedly you was in the back room with the nose candy. Allegedly, my opinion. You have to be able to take your notes like Miss Diana. You have to be able to take your notes, Kiki. You really do. And when Mel told that mama, because I told her, said, "You're a demon." You're a demon.
You gotta know how to come back. This is a thing that people don't understand always, but listen. Reality TV is a game. You got to show up with your snappy comebacks. You got to memorize them. You got to know how your face is supposed to look. The stare you're going to give, all of it. You can't just fly off the handle and look like you weren't prepared. You got to be prepared.
You have to. You have to be prepared. And it's not just one devil on Martell's shoulders. You know, it's normally a angel and a devil. It's two devils. And he sunk tonight like that quicksand.
One tap dancing on that bald ass head.
It was he had 3. He had breasts then. 3.
Diana, you see how he lied and said, didn't he say she had 20 babysitters?
Yeah.
Then he turned around and said she had 11.
Yeah, I know. I saw. And she even told him, "You a damn lie." She said, "You a liar. Never happened." And he
He
didn't
can't count.
say,
He went from 20 to 11.
yeah.
He cannot count. We
Oh
all
my
know he's dumb.
God.
We know that he has loose marbles. Everybody knows Martell is sinking. We're going to pray for him. You know that he sinks over there or try to come up over there, but just leave Melanie alone. You'll be all right. Just stay on your corner. Stay in your lane, buddy. It is not with Miss Rogers anymore. So leave me alone. And why didn't they leave Stormy and her husband out there and put Kimmy and her husband over there on the side with the Scots? So Stormy could have told Kiki, blink 3 times if you need me.
Okay.
Put them over there. They sitting over there like they the queen of the show. You know, look, king and queen of the show. Why move? They need to be over there anyway.
Right. Right.
Kimmy don't like Mel. So why you? I would have been side eyeing. And did you see Martell wink at Carlos?
I didn't see that part.
Go back and watch
When
it.
I
moving.
If
seen
he
it.
was trying to calm, like calm down, he winking, winking. What you winking for? That's why I said the cameraman was on
Oh,
point.
was he trying to act like he wasn't going off, like he was just being like that was for show or something?
I believe CK was pretty much was telling Martell, you have receipts, you need to go on and read mail and let her know. That's just my
Who was
opinion.
winking? Carlos was winking at Martell, or Martell was winking at
Martell was winking at Carlos, like, okay, I'm gonna be quiet, okay, and winking. Go back and watch. Please.
I
It's
didn't see
there.
that.
Didn't anybody else see it?
No, I didn't
Okay.
see that.
Seen
I
the
saw
wink, but I didn't take it that way. But I
it.
did see
Well, what
hotel
you
wink.
winking for? Why you winking anyway? When
I
he was
thought he
trying,
was doing like Diana said, "Oh yeah, oh for the show." Like I'm an
Right.
actor.
he was winking like, okay, okay. See, I
Because
analyzed the.
Carlos got so nervous, he said, "We're dropping this conversation right now. We're not bringing it back up. Let's move on to the next." He didn't want a repeat of last year, and he probably
Mm-hmm.
had some
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He in
I
the
don't
okay
know.
reunion one. Okay, the first part, the first part one. When he went to each room, he told Melody. He said, "Are you gonna talk? Are you gonna say anything?" And they went back and just saw Melody just sitting there.
Yeah.
Melody was hurt during this time and during that time, and they were going to court. So now that's why she can tell him it's documented. Everything is documented. That little lady that was up there typing, that transcript, everything is on paper, little buddy. So you can't just be out here babbling and saying anything to me anymore. And that's it. That's all I had to say
Okay.
because I didn't want to be long winded because everybody else saw the show and they saw that. But go back, please, and
I'm
watch the wink. It's the wink for me.
definitely going back to
Yeah,
check
he
out
did
that.
wink.
Oh
He did
no.
wink, but I look at it as he is telling Carlos, okay, I'm going to calm myself. I'm going to calm myself. That's how I read it. Read the wink.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's how I read
It
it.
was like Carlos
That sound
threatening
right.
him silently, and he's like, okay, I'm going to behave. I'm going to behave.
Okay.
Well, it could be that way
Check it
too.
out.
It could be that way too. But the wink, the way he winked at that time, can't nobody else, wasn't nobody else controlling him up there when he wanted to say and march off the stage like the toy soldier. He didn't stop him that. Why you want him letting him go
Right.
back there to get some documents? Because he had told Carlos, I got it on paper. Everything's on paper. Let's go get it. I got it on paper. Don't
Oh,
nobody.
they got no receipts. That's
You
all
know.
fake receipts. Some are not real receipts. Some are
But Jan, Cindy, and Marsha, you go check it out. I'm not going to check anything for you about your husband. Why you not there? Why you not there? Kiki should have put Tisha on the 3-way, whether she believed it or not. And she not coming with her dirt. She should have came with it last year. She didn't come with it last reunion. She should have been on point for this reunion right here. And I can love my family all day long, but I don't have to like you. And remember that turning the other cheek does not mean you can slap me because my reflexes are strong.
I'll say this. I agree with you, but I'll say this. When Tisha pulled out the transcript of that damn phone call and read it after Kiki came on and said, "That's because you're dumb, dummy." I would like for her to have had I would love for her to have the transcript to show that she was, on her side. But Tisha kind of killed it with that for me. That's why I was asking. I said I wanted to hold it, but I'm gonna end up talking about it because we've been on for so long. I just felt like, oops, I didn't think about it that way because we're all listening to, we're just everybody saying, of course, Marceau has cheated. They went through the thing and Melody asking Melody and Kimmy. And Mel was like, I still think that Marceau cheated, but she said, I understand Tisha's position. She's been in this relationship. She has little kids. She wants real hard proof before she acts. And I understand. Okay. And Marceau sat there with a smile on his face. He wasn't even offended by that comment. Tisha was happy that Kimmy, though, seemed like she was on her side with I don't believe it. Kimmy just lied. She absolutely believes he cheated.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course he do.
Oh, yeah. All of them know that he cheats, but at the end of the day, Tisha, and I honestly believe this, Tisha, even though she know there is part of her that is not accepting it, and she may not handle it well, and they may think that she is so fragile that they prefer to continue to lie to her. You understand? Because she may not be able to handle it, because if we think that coleslaw is bad, Tisha actually finding out the truth, that could be a wrap for everybody.
That's true too, child.
Yeah, that could be a wrap for everybody, because remember, Marcel take Tisha kind of sort of out of the the other side of the track, just as Melody take Martell out of the other side of the track, because Melody gave Martell a life that he never thought, he never knew. And his problem right now is dealing with the life that he grew up knowing. Having rice and butter, bread and butter. Melody, they give him steak and bagels and,
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
all the good stuff. So now that he have to go back to bread and butter, you understand what I'm saying? No, he's not too happy about it. So it's the same thing, I think, with Keisha, because I look when Melody talk about, you understand, both of them being around each other, and with Keisha dreams and her vision for her life, she is very scared of being on her own, because even though Marcel is not giving her the high life, he's given her a better life than what she knew.
That's right.
And she is not Melody. She cannot stand on her own. And that's a fear that is keeping her with Marcel, because she know that man been cheating. Please.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Please.
That's a lot of people's fear, to walk away from everything. That's a fear that everybody has, especially when you have little kids.
Yeah,
but you guys, we've been on for 2 hours and 30 minutes, but it's almost 12:30. So I'm going to wrap it up, but this has been one of the best lives ever. Let me say that. Everybody on the panel was amazing. I think you guys are hilarious. I say this every time, but I'm going to say it again. You guys are always super smart. You recognize everything. Okay. So I love to bring you up here to talk about it. You are hilarious. Okay. We got a bunch of laughs today. Queen Bless, Bless Queen, excuse me. Bless Queen. You are the MVP for the jokes tonight. Okay.
That was my intention.
You are the MVP for the jokes. I'm gonna have to start giving out awards for the jokes and the best commentary. Courtney had the best comment earlier. I have to go back and listen. I'm gonna actually rattle them off. I'm gonna tell you all who I thought was the best in the next live that I do. But anyways, I appreciate every single one of y'all for coming on and hanging out with me tonight. There is 1,100 people right now. If y'all can hit that like button on your way out. Thank you.
Good night, y'all.
Good night. Good night.
Yeah, good night, everybody. Continue to be blessed.
Night, panel. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
If y'all can hit the like button on your way out. Thank you for everybody who came on tonight and joined the panel. Thank you to everyone who watched the show and joined the chat. Thank you to all of my mods. You guys are always amazing and fantastic. Thank you to everybody who blessed the channel by becoming a member or donating. I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me, okay? And I will see you all on the next one.